Howdy, everybody. Welcome to Step into the Portal. This is the first of what I hope is many all hands on deck, which is our new live deck building format show. If it becomes popular or watched or just a fun time hanging out, then we'll continue it. So this is the first of what I hope to be many hundreds, tens of thousands of episodes. Maybe not that much. So howdy, everybody. Thanks for joining. My name is the Brandt, and I am joined by...
I'm Brian from Brian's Basement. You guys have seen me many times on Step into the Portal.
Yep, I'm Eric, and I sometimes have made an appearance, and I'm down in Nashville, Tennessee.
We always enjoy having you with us, Eric.
Thank you so much.
I am in Connecticut, and our store, The Portal, is in Manchester, Connecticut, so come and check it out sometime if you can, and we can play some Marvel Champions or other games or whatever. Be lots of fun. So we're supposed to have Steve, but who knows? So I assume he's putting his kids to bed and he'll show up, but we'll have to see. So, all right, cool. So what we want to do here is we're not going to play a game of Marvel Champions. So I just want to be clear with that up front to people. So we're
Disclaimer.
Not playing on this stream. That's not a bad thing, I hope. I hope it's a good thing. But instead, we're going to try to do some live deck building, and we'll build multiple decks throughout while chatting and other things. We'll have to work our way through that, getting everybody a chance to talk and whatnot. And we want to include you, the viewers, as well. So if you want to grab your cards and build along with us, we can do that. We got our huge
collections ready to go.
Yeah, I got my box here. Marvel Champions.
Yes. Hello, Black Dog. Thank you for joining us.
I bet my box is bigger than your box.
Nice. So we're going to do a couple deck builds. So the first one that I wanted to do here, I alluded to earlier, but Tony Tales made a video and, not only a video, but a survey and compiled information from the community. I don't know the numbers. I imagine 100, 200 people or something, but who knows? Maybe it was 2,500 people that voted. And the lowest ranked hero for the year was Valkyrie. And I think that kind of makes sense. I mean, I think she just didn't quite work out, right?
That
the
tracks.
Next lowest ranked, say it again.
I said, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. And even kind of unlike Hulk, who he definitely was tricky at first and have a lot of cards. He's got so many options now. And if you could just build him up, right? He plays a lot more like a Groot or something where he has to build a whole bunch or smash right out of the gate and that's it and deal with nothing else, right? So he's kind of got those two elements. Anyway, the next lowest ranked hero was Vision. And I thought, really? Because I think Vision is quite good. Although Brian just told me he's built one Vision deck ever. You built your other one, your WandaVision was the other way, right? It was Wanda with Vision.
Yeah, Wanda. It was a Wanda
so
leadership
this is Vision
deck
Wanda
with Vision. Yes, I guess so.
Vision Vivian. So I thought it would be fun if we kind of drafted or randomized aspects, and then we all build a Vision deck. And what I thought would be interesting to see, and you can build it however you want. Eric, I know you play a lot of two-handed solo, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I can't remember if you asked or whatever, and I said, yeah, go for it. Like, build a deck that you would pair up with Scarlet Witch. I think that's totally fine. Like, you could build it towards multiplayer solo. I think I'll build mine focusing on solo will be the idea. So if people at home want to find their Vision cards, you might not be at home. Maybe you're at work and you say, I can't do it, but that's fine. You can go later and you can pick an aspect and build a Vision deck and try it out. So I want to figure out if we were to build towards a villain, what villain would we face? So I'm going to try to put a poll up here. What villain should we build a Vision deck for? Let me see if I can get
I think a lot of times...
Are we...
Go ahead, Brian.
Sir. No, go ahead.
So I was going to say, a lot of times with the villain, I usually, my first question is, will it be minion heavy or not? Are you going up against Absorbing Man, who has practically no minions, or is it going to be someone like Zola or Ultron or whatever? Because then that will tell you, especially if you're doing aggression, do you want to focus on something that's minion centric? or not.
Yeah,
So what is
absolutely.
a minion? What's a minion centric villain? So I know I didn't give you guys a chance, a lot of time to talk. Go
No,
ahead.
I was just going to agree with Eric. There is knowing your villain and potentially knowing the modulars that are going to go with the villain are going to always help you with your deck building ideas. Because, like Eric is saying, well, if you go Green Goblin, Mutagen, well, you already have plenty of minions in there. Same with Zola and stuff like that. So if you're in aggression, throwing in those into the phrase or relentless assaults are going to be fantastic, right? But if you're in like absorbing man, like you were just stating, having into the phrase and relentless assaults are pretty useless. So you would want to veer away from that. So yes, obviously that's going to affect and just choose how we build.
So I love that. So I just put down Zola as an option, and I put down Absorbing Man as an option. So we have those two ends of the spectrum. So who's a third villain? I don't even mind going to 4 here, but we'll have people vote. But maybe just a third one who's kind of somebody else different, like a Sandman or a Mysterio, or
well, who has maybe high scheme values, like side schemes and stuff.
Yeah, so you can have like Red Skull or Collector
there you go.
Just anyone where you really need either a heavy justice player or just your hero so you can do a lot of thwarting. Which,
so with Zola and Absorbing Man, I'd rather avoid the Red Skull box again.
Yeah.
Collector's a little bit of a mess. We could definitely put him down.
Yeah. You've got Mojo is obviously another one.
No, you've got Sinister Six, who has the side scheme that's always in play, and they have a decent amount of side schemes that also come out during their play as well. So
All right. So we're gonna put these 4 up. So cool. I'm doing a live poll now. If you guys actually want to go on your phones and vote,
cool.
You can.
I'm always on my phone.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we let the audience do that. So we only have 6 people here now, so we'll let that sit for a little bit and see what the polling comes out. So go ahead, if you're joining us, you can vote on a villain that you would like to see us build a vision deck for. Sometimes I find that like either the hero or the aspect really builds into the villain, and other times it's like there's something, right? I might swap one card for another card or consider whatever it is, right? There's some like Taskmaster. It's like, oh my gosh, if I'm in Justice, it's like one way or another is a broken card, right? It's just so like that's an example where it's just ridiculous. But there's others where it's like, I don't know if it makes a big difference. Thanos is interesting because somebody like Hawkeye would really be different in how you were going to structure him, right? Because he's got a lot of stun and confuse in his kit. So Thanos would make a difference. But there's other heroes like Gamora where you just don't put stun and confuse in her deck, right? She doesn't really have it. You don't really go for it. A lot of the X-Men don't even have. Is there a lot of stun and confuse in X-Men at all?
Yes, there is, because you've got Kitty Pryde and Colossus will both stun and confuse. I'm trying to think if Cyclops.
Oh, she's
phased
and confused, right?
Yeah.
For Shadowcat.
Yeah, because I did a game recently with I went up against Ronan standard using Colossus and Shadowcat, and the only thing that saved me is I was constantly stunning and confusing him.
Got it.
Yeah.
Nice. So there's some there, but there's examples where you just you can kind of just dance around the stun and confuse. I think and whatnot. Yeah. So
now, granted, with them, most of the stun and confuse were coming off of their hero specific cards and not from aspect cards. There are a couple, but I was using the ones where it would do both stun and confuse all in one blow. Yeah.
Do you guys have power-ofs near you, like easily accessible?
Yeah, I have my whole box beside me.
Yes.
Brian, can you grab the 4 different power-ofs and then we'll randomize them and give them out to us and we'll assign one to Steve? And I'm guessing at this point he probably is not going to show. But I mean, if he shows at 8:30, it won't be a big deal. I'm going to leave the poll running for a little while because we can figure out what aspects we are, get cards out, and then we can see, what the audience and other people are thinking and whatnot.
So here we go. So one question I'd love for people.
Shall I grab the power of basic as well?
No, I think we won't do basic as an aspect. What were you saying, Eric?
So maybe not necessarily a poll, but if people want to start mentioning in the comments, I'm curious how many people build their decks and then keep them. I don't know whether the right way to say it is just always in play, where maybe they'll tweak it every now and then, but that's like just their go-to aggression deck or their go-to protection deck. Or
So
do you build a deck before every single game that you play?
So do people construct a deck and keep it together and just tweak as they play villains, or
Yeah.
whether or not they build on the fly? I am one that always built on the fly. I never keep any deck together unless I'm playing a campaign, obviously. Then I keep the deck together and maybe tweak it. But I always build fresh every time we're going to play. So got 4 cards right here.
Cool.
I do the same. I definitely don't. There's also, people that play the precons, or they just very minorly tweak the precons, right? If there's 3 endurances, they take 2 out. If there's 3 uncanny X-Men's, they might take 1 out, because a lot of people like to have, like, this is a card I really want to get in play, so they put 2 of in, right? And it's, to me, it's kind of that Magic the Gathering or competitive card game nature of, like, I want to see this card, so I'm going to include more copies. For me, I don't tend to do that because Champions, you go through your whole deck. So the odds that you're going to see all your cards are pretty good, except like an Ultron or a few that, few of them that make you discard random cards or turn them into drones. It might take a little while. But for the most part,
Absolutely,
you're going to see every card. So it's a little different where I don't feel like I have to put multiple copies of everything in. But
yeah,
but there are people that play the precons.
games with it.
Yeah, I'm of the mindset I rarely play the precons. For a couple of them I might tweak them and just give it a try. But usually I'll just break apart the precon as soon as I get it, and then before every game, kind of like Brian, I build my decks on the fly.
Oh, I play the precon every single time.
You do? Yeah.
I crack the pack, I sleeve it up, and that's how I do it. Is my first game I play the precon. That I generally don't go against standard unless I'm going against claw. I generally don't go expert unless I'm going against claw or something like that, who I know very well. So that's kind of a good test to see if a precon is at least worth its salt, is taking
Claw
against
is the
expert
ultimate
claw.
test. Yeah.
It really is.
It's such a great fight. It's it's generally pretty winnable, I think, but you also just have those random, there's nothing you could do. Like, he can advance pretty high, or he could just hit you really hard all of a sudden, for 7 if he draws double 3s. I got a huge smile on my face, and Brian sees it now too.
Yes, I do. Hey, Dale, how's it going?
Dale, the casual gamers in the chat.
Awesome.
Hello,
Welcome,
Dale. I got a big smile on my face. It is great to hear from you.
Hope he's doing well. It's been
actually, if you didn't see Dale, Wonderland's War was my number 2 of the year, and I played that with Dale at Gen Con, so that was a really, really fun game.
Awesome.
Well, Larry played and the rest of us joined him, was really what happened.
Oh, so you played.
Oh my gosh, Larry just crushed us all. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, that is a good game. I got to meet Dale at Gen Con, and that was definitely a treat, and it was fun getting to talk to him and hang out.
And
Hello,
he
Jay
also
Collins
says
is
that
also
he builds
here.
fresh as well. Dale always builds fresh decks.
Nice.
Every time he sits. I mean, I would assume, that most people kind of do that. What would you think? Maybe like a 70-30, that most people just sit fresh and build a deck?
I imagine it's actually a little bit different. People sit on a deck for a little while.
Yeah.
Like I would imagine somebody might, like, I built that Cyclops deck today, and I could see somebody be like, oh, this was fun. I'm going to take that against Magneto. I'm going to take that against, whoever, some of my favorite
okay,
ones, and they're
yeah.
going to play through a bunch. It probably sits, depending on the person, a week to 3 weeks, and then they take it apart. That's my guess, is that most people build a deck and then it sits, and they
Take
play
it
it.
against a few villains. Yeah, that makes sense. That's
1 to
that's
3
good
times.
point. Hey, happy
But-
holidays, Dale.
Yeah, happy holidays, everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
Hello,
yeah.
Jay,
Christmas,
as well.
New
We see you there.
Year's.
Thanks for joining. So I've got this.
Hanukkah? Happy Hanukkah.
Oh, there you go. Happy Hanukkah. Right in the middle of it, right?
Yes.
I've got this poll up. So if you can vote on which villain, we're going to be building vision decks live here, and we're going to fight a certain villain, and we're going to see if one of these makes sense. It may or may not, but it just gives us something. And you can build with us at home. That's the other idea. In fact, I know, Eric, you said at some point you will play the decks. And then I said, why don't you post that on Facebook? And then people can kind of post there like, oh, last night I built this deck and I played it. And we can all kind of see what we compare to. Yoda's Hut is here.
Yeah.
Like Brian, I almost always play the pre-con the first time to get a feel for it. And since the campaigns have come out, I usually always play it versus the first villain in whatever the most recent boxes. Makes sense?
Yeah, that's a good point. When Mutant Genesis came out, the first time I played Cyclops, the first time I played Shadowcat was against Sabretooth. Yes, I agree with that. I played their precons against Sabretooth. Shadowcat's just a beast. Love her.
Yeah.
All right. So, Brian, why don't you give those cards a shuffle?
Already shuffled.
All right. And then we'll go alphabetical order, which I think puts me first. Brandt, Brian, Eric, Steve, right?
Cool.
So go ahead and give me, I'll take the second from the left.
Here?
That's the one. So I will be building in Justice.
Cool.
All right. Justice Vision.
I will take the one right beside it, and I will be building Aggression Vision.
Nice. I'll take the one on the end. And that
Leadership
gives
Vision.
me leadership. All right.
All right. So Steve will be
Cool.
building Vision in protection. Should he show up? Hello,
Good
Jay.
evening,
Hello,
Randy.
Randy. Thanks for joining. If you want to build along with, if you're popping in, no worries. You can give a vote to our poll over here. If you want to build along with us, we're all building Vision
All right.
decks. So we're going to build Vision decks, and we'll find out in a little bit. I'm going to leave the poll a little bit longer because I see people are starting to pop in and out. Our numbers are going up. So we can kind of get our cards out and then see. And if you don't want to fight whatever we're fighting at home, if you don't want to build Vision, but you want to build something else, that's fine too. But I thought it would just be a fun way to be like, oh, last night I sat with them, right? It's kind of like we're all painting the same painting, those like sipping paint things or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sipping my Mountain Dew if you want to go get a Mountain Dew.
Now you're talking my language.
Actually, I remember when we went to
Mountain
New York
Dew.
City and I was like, did you buy that Mountain Dew here? And you were like,
Yes.
no. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
sorry.
you were so disappointed.
It's like, I got to go find a store.
Yes.
All right.
You guys and your
Justice
Mountain
Vision.
Dew.
Yes. All right. I am going to flip my camera around so then
I'm not a pop guy
everyone
anymore.
can see in here as we go. So yeah. So here's my collection. It's definitely grown over time. Originally, I was using just the core box. And then when I outgrew that, so this is the Hobby Lobby artist case, and was able to fit everything in that for a while, a long while. And then earlier this year, I think when Sinister Motives came out, I've then finally expanded. So I now have 2 cases. So villains in one, heroes and aspects in the other. And then, as you can see with the first one, just had a lot of fun decorating it, painted it, put some vinyl decals on it, and just customized it out.
Well-
And then Tesseract Games, I use their dividers.
All right, let's take a look at the Vision deck.
Nice.
Bear with me, people. I have played Vision a total of, I think, 2 times. One that I built and the precon. So
Now, I will say that it's everyone's choice, but I feel like we should pay proper respect to Avengers and use our Avengers double resource cards. So
absolutely.
I'm going to go back to the Avengers one and away from the X-Men ones. Sad we don't have Guardians ones. That's what I should print and play. I should print and play Rocket double cards. I should make ones that go just with Rocket specifically.
There we go. See, so I printed out for most of the heroes. I haven't gotten around to
That's
the
what I need to
X-Men
do.
yet. And yeah,
All
these are
right, send me
available.
the files for Rocket.
Yes, you can find most of these on Hall of Heroes. So what I do, if anyone is interested, I print these out on regular paper. And I just got an extra hero deck. So I had a bunch of extra cards, or you can use the double resource cards. So these are all sleeved in front of a regular card. So as you can see, so here's an extra Avengers Mansion. So I sleeve it, and then that way, when I'm shuffling and dealing out, it's a regular back. I can't tell the difference. Yeah, these are just a lot of fun. As you can see, I just love to customize or trick out my games as much as possible.
Nice. All right, I will close this poll in about a minute. So if people haven't voted, there's a poll there. It says we're building with vision. We've got vision in 3 different aspects, not 4. And then we're just looking for a villain that we could fight. Honestly, you could pick any of these. I think is fine, but I wanted to include the audience, whether you're building at home with us or whether you want to get in that vote, and then we'll pick someone for us to kind of plan to battle. And I was saying that I was going to stream Friday morning, and I still really want to play Spider-Ham, but I was like, I should really play these decks. That's what I should do.
Yeah.
So I'll at least take pictures. Like I said, I'm going to try my best to get them up on Marvel CDB. It's not my favorite thing to do, like entering all that information, but it's not that bad. So I'll try to put them up there as well, and then I'll have them, and I can do them at some point. So should be fun.
Brandt, if you look up at my camera now, so here are Rockets.
Oh man,
custom double resource ones.
I gotta get those.
Yeah, so they're fun. Okay.
I don't think I ever referenced Jay here. He said, I generally build fresh each time. When I get a new hero, I try to run a build through the first 3 villains.
Cool.
Oh, that makes sense. I can see what you're doing. Kind of. Yeah, I mean, the good part about playing a deck is you tweak it. Like when I played the Cyclops one today, I was like, I really don't need X Mansion. Like it was totally, like it was good for theme, but I was never going to heal an ally. Like it just wasn't going to happen,
Yeah. For a while, I was recording all of my decks and posting them up on that site. But then just with all the new aspect cards that keep coming out, you always want to keep trying out all the new cards. So I haven't gone back to any of my recorded decks and given them another play.
All right. We have some poll results. We had 13 votes. And Absorbing Man had 7% in last. Sinister 6, 23%. Mojo was 30%, but Zola came out on top, 38%. And I think Zola's a pretty good fight. Zola's like a lot of battle to get control. And then once you have control, you lose it somewhere in the middle, which is really fun to me. You gain that control, and then somewhere in the battle, I feel like it goes away a little bit, and then you gain it back, and then he's dead. His health is so low. Once you go for that kill, he's done. But the retaliate really slows you down with allies, right?
It definitely can. Yeah. Unless you have, those that can get around it.
So if you have something specific for Zola, sorry,
one.
The other way I would do modulars for this, let's just make it simple and just assume the suggested.
Yeah,
I think that's the easiest way to go. And by all means, if people decide, I would really have more fun doing this, then do it. But we'll just go with the suggested modulars to not have to get too detailed, I think would be part of the goal of that. We'll zoom in a little here. All right, so if you want to build with us, we are building some Vision decks.
Yes, we are.
I am building Injustice.
I don't know. Do you normally basic attack with this guy very often? It's been forever.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be that flipping back and forth. So what becomes tricky is he's like, it's like a double flip. So it's how often you're going to flip down versus like you're most likely going to flip this. What do they call this card? His mass form card? Is that what it is? Yeah. You're probably going to flip this every turn. I mean, I like that one where he stays intangible and all that, but that's just a whole different deck.
Flipping is good for him, and those trigger the surprise attacks, right?
Surprise attacks, yeah, will work really well, and even something like Ready to Rumble.
Ready to Rumbles are fantastic, absolutely.
Yeah, we can kind of talk about those common cards like Death Focus is.
Oh man, that's
almost auto include in him.
That's immediate auto include for me. I got the Machine Man and Vivian for 2 androids because I'd probably be grabbing some android stuff. And Nick Fury is a pretty good staple basic hero ally to be running. So
did we say is it Zola that we're planning on?
Zola is who you'd be thinking. I mean, if you don't want to build towards that, I think it's totally fine. It just, gives us something else to go off of.
Yeah.
Was my idea.
Yeah, because I know he has a lot of minions that come out tough. So,
oh yes, I already know the kind of deck I'd be playing against Zola.
So he does have his card, which I believe has piercing, the super dense strike.
Right. Yep. And then
not that you can't put other things in there, but just saying that he has something in there,
Yep.
So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Vivian is his signature ally. Yep.
Yes.
Well, you could probably make a Looking for Trouble Bring It deck with him.
Yes.
Right? Intangible, you're just soaking up stuff.
Yeah, by all means, if you want, I mean, that's my favorite deck with him in aggression, but I was not going to say anything because I wanted you to build.
Oh, yeah.
What you want to build. But I find that to be one of the, I thought about doing like my favorite decks from the year, kind of thing. Like, and I was like, man, that is hands down one of my favorite decks from the year.
So, and you have 0 attack when in intangible. Correct. All right.
Yeah, so the other way to think about getting through tough is I really like this plasma pistol. I play this a lot, and I like it in Captain Marvel especially, or Iron Man. You could also do something like a beat 'em up. But
yeah, does Zola have a lot of guard?
Yeah, well, there's an attachment that gives the enemy guard.
The guard, right? Yeah, because you got the out of my ways. If they have guard patrol, it's 5 damage instead. Browbeats.
Is anybody in the chat building? I know some people might be at work or making dinner, or where they have it on. Maybe we're on your phone and you're not able to build, but are you considering? So if you are, let us know.
You guys.
So just looking through here, there's these reboots too that are basically built for him.
Let's take a couple.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And then if you were to go with an ally build, sidearms would give the allies range so that they could avoid taking damage from Zola. So if you were going for an ally build, that could be a possibility.
So myself, I tend to like to start by just like chucking out a ton of cards that I think are going to work with him for an idea.
Yeah.
Then I lay everything out by, I'm just, talking it out here. Then I lay everything out by cost. Then I kind of start cutting and thinking, oh, well, this isn't going to work. This is going to work, all that stuff. So I already got my stack of cards here that I'm thinking about.
Cool.
Let's see for upgrades.
So it is interesting. I know I'm like the world's most strong player of the suit, but if you do play the suit with him in reboots, you've got a lot of readies. But the suit
This
is
is
at its
true.
most dangerous in solo, you know. But I don't know that Zola's cards are all that oppressive. Other things I'm thinking
Oh,
through is
you're
obviously
right.
there's a Quinn
Thank you.
carrier, but he
Thank you,
has
Black
a
Dog.
solar gem in his kit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, is the Quinn carrier worth it, or is it kind of become overkill? Like it obviously never hurts to have 2 free resources on the board, but like I feel like I'd rather have a mansion than a helicarrier or a Quinn carrier, you know? Because I already have the resource.
Yep.
So I'd rather have a card draw is kind of my I'm just again talking out loud.
Of course. Thank you, Black Dog, for reminding me that Vivian is already a signature ally in the deck. Completely makes sense.
Oh, you'd had Vivian there.
Yep.
All right. How many cards do I have now?
Reboot was a 1 cost. Sure, let's... Ready. Let's put 3 in for now. He recovers for how much? Where did I put his card?
I think it's just 3. He gets +2 recovery if
While
you
in
are in
dense
dense
form.
form.
Okay.
But you lose a hand size, so it's a little bit of a battle there, you know.
All right. I'm at
Yeah.
48 cards. So then we start trimming.
Oh, I'm probably
So-
going to be higher than that
Yeah.
before I even start trimming.
Yeah. Usually with leadership, I end up my first deck, I'm at like between 50 and 55 cards, and then I have to like trim it way down.
So,
But lately,
let's
and I've
give
been
him
doing
endurance.
this with, and I got the idea from actually Brian, who did a Shadowcat leadership deck, is I've been doing leadership decks that haven't been focusing on your allies. And they do things like with Moxie, you know, because obviously Vision's going to be changing forms. You know, so that is great. So you want to, you know, bolster up your hero, things like that.
I'm so glad I could
Oh,
can change your view on leadership.
You definitely have, and Steve changed my view on leadership way back when, because I used to use the aspect just for chump blockers, and then he said, no, use your allies as resources, you know, and
Oh
that
yeah.
then that completely changed how I was playing leadership for a while, yeah, as well.
Steve is on his way.
Cool.
So I do go aerial, so I do have a couple dive bombs, especially because it's Zola and he's got, you know, a good amount of people.
Well, my character goes aerial too.
What?
My character can go aerial if you can find that card and get it out. And see, that's I kind of wish that aerial wasn't card specific, that it was a trait, you know, on the hero card.
Well, then they couldn't have the cards that are so powerful, right?
True.
Like, so it's like a trade-off of, because of aerial, it's a very strong trait, arguably at times stronger than some of the like group traits.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, you get stuck in that boat.
Yeah.
But I do agree. I'm not like, for me, I'm not sure that I'm sold on aerial being a focus here. Like, I have these yaw and rolls, which is that option, but I don't know. In Justice, it's just like, I have lay down the law.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to start throwing out my deck here so everyone can see. Let's see. I got to switch cameras.
Once Steve gets on here, I'm just going to take a quick break to say goodnight to my daughter.
Yeah.
You do not get to say goodnight to your daughter, ever.
Hey,
are
she just
here
got the
with us.
cast list for the play she's going to be in at her school, and she got one of the lead roles.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Congratulations. What's the
Just
play?
very excited. Guys and Dolls.
Fun. That's and is she elementary school or high
Middle
school?
school.
Middle school.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Because I'm just thinking of the theme and how appropriate is that for middle
Yeah,
school?
it's Guys and Dolls
kids.
Junior, so it's kind
Yeah.
of a smaller rewritten version.
They
And
toned it
Rob.
down.
Junior.
Hey, it's Sleepy
Hey.
Steve.
Oh my
Sup,
god, I
Steve?
was.
Passed out.
Oh, dude, I don't. I put my kid. I was reading my kids a story in bed, and I'm like, okay, and I just laid down with them, and I just wonked, and it was like, huh, what time is it? And I'm like, holy Nikes, and I'm like, oh.
Nice. So, Steve, we are all building vision decks, and your aspect is protection.
Oh, okay.
Did you just build one?
Yeah, I can build on it right now.
No,
Funny
I'm
enough,
saying, did you just build one or something?
did I just build one? No.
All he heard was the word protection, and Steve already
Oh, 'cause it's
immediately
his
It's
had
like
words
in
in his
love.
head.
Yeah,
This is
because
his favorite aspect.
this was my Iron Man Super Tech Genius build there that I built for like turn 1 flip to Iron Man, and I didn't even clean it up yet.
So we polled the audience as well, Steve,
yeah.
and the villain they picked was Zola.
Oh yeah.
So if you want to build towards a villain, you can build Zola. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. But I thought it would give us a direction to go.
Okay.
And we figured when we poll, we'll just say Zola with the normal modulars, and then if you get inspired to film it and put it on your channel, and you want to put in, MODOK and Ronin and all the hardest modulars you can think of, and Acronauts, go for it.
Of course.
Because why not?
Because why not? Well, I did it with Iron Man. I did it in French as well. Oh my god, that was super fun. I played with the hunter theme that I was saying, like Zaz with Iron Man, going into an high energy synergy. Oh my god. When you get that card, it says take 1 indirect damage for each lightning resource you control. You're like, my hand is all lightning.
Nice.
Okay, so vision. So I'm building vision and protection, going for a protection build. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna.
I mean, you don't have to do a protection build in protection, but it will help.
Of course. Give me 2. I'm just gonna put these away, and then I'm gonna start building. So, yeah. So what's the chat like? Sorry, I got a mess here.
No, Steve.
They all fell asleep with their kids, so they're not talking to us.
That's
oh
right.
yeah. Oh, there you go. Well, the whole point was this to have a nice conversation, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's possible that they're also building too, along with us. Who knows?
Are they now? Is that what's going on?
Well, we did.
That was what was offered to them. Yep. Like you said, go ahead, you build what we're building, and then maybe we'll post on the Facebook group or put them on Marvel CDB or something.
All right. Cool.
Yes.
So
no
to
problem.
llama. Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
No problem.
I was just gonna say yes, no problema. This stream will be accessible to watch afterwards. All of them are.
No, it's a one-time only deal. It's like
that's right.
This stream will self-destruct.
Looking private.
Yeah.
No. Appreciate you being here. Whenever you check it out, if you're watching us, if it's Christmas night and you're snuggled in bed with your phone watching Pajama Steve.
Right.
I got my Christmas PJs. I'm all good.
Or if it's Christmas morning, 4:15, and you hear the kids stirring, and you're like, no. Go back to bed. I gotta watch them step into the portal. All hands on deck stream.
Dean woke up at 3 a.m, ready to play this morning. It was like, dude, it's 3 a.m. Go back to bed. We're like, what are you doing?
Ready to play Champions, I assume?
I was just thinking that.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Steve would have been like, I'm up 3:30. You're up like at 4. It wasn't like it was that big a deal.
I know, but for him, he's supposed to get up around 7. So that's the idea.
Oh, that's a weird. I'm not saying you make, but you're requesting them like to stay in their room till a certain time. Is that the idea?
So just to keep them, ready, like so they learn to rest, because they don't start school until like 8:39. Like sometimes like they'll get up at 6:15, but because Vanessa works from home as a nurse, she finishes at 7:30. So and then around
Right,
6:30, she's got like to call the patients and stuff like that, and just there's a lot of follow-ups.
That makes sense.
And then since I'm gone, I work at 6:30. There you go. But that's all going to change because it's my last week of working at this job. Yeah. So hopefully I'm going to be getting a new position. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm like, I gave myself a deadline. I'm like, you know what? The company I was working for, I was like, look, this is what I need. I need to move forward. And if you can't offer that, then I'll be bouncing. So I'm bouncing.
Got it.
He's a bouncer.
Yeah. So there's a community outreach program that needs a program director, and that is the job I'm going for. So
Nice.
it's like, and it's all like how to integrate different communities together, working in French and English, and then working together towards like Dean's art classes. This is part of the some of these community outreach programs. So, and they're looking for somebody who just creates new programs and manages other and can manage other programs and stuff like that. So I'm like, dude, it's right up my alley. So I'm super passionate, and it's something that's super rewarding. Like as a work, you're working for people like to better the community. So I'm like, dude, that's so what I want to do. There you go.
That sounds great.
Cool. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely hoping for it. All right. So are you guys talking on your deck builds first, or you guys?
So I was explaining how I normally start the deck build is I take potentials. I take like 3 ofs, like let's say he has the ability to flip forms. So I threw out some surprise attacks. I threw all 3 down. I was like, dense form, or sorry, not dense form, but intangible form. I'm like, okay, let me throw some looking for troubles, and I can do the bring it's to go with that. I've got the relentless assault into the phrase. Now I'm just making cuts. Like I had ideas, and now I'm essentially just making cuts. I need to cut 7 essentially to get down to 25, and then that would be my idea.
Okay, cool.
So
all right, I like it.
Just figuring out what it is. Cool. I don't think surprise attacks are going to I think these ones are going to get cut because he can change once per round, right?
Correct.
Other than the extra 2 cards that he has to flip, but those are you use them, you discard them. So other than flipping down, flipping back up, I think even though surprise attack could be 4 damage with martial prowess, I still think it's more situational and probably not going to hit as often. So this is one of the reasons why I think it's going to be getting cut.
Okay. All right. Well, I am going to press pause 2 seconds. I'm going to go back to the table.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to start cleaning up, but I'm going to try to figure out what I want to do for vision. Are we building solo or multiplayer decks?
Either or, I think.
Yeah,
we didn't really talk that out.
Or? Yeah, I think really either or. Just the idea is here to just give people an idea of what you can do, whether again you're doing solo or multiplayer. So the deck that I built,
or building,
is really, I guess, more multiplayer, but you can also use this solo as well. I'm focusing more on being able to use Vision's abilities and not, rely on either multiplayer to, get everything else done, or even use my allies, which is surprising because I did a leadership deck. So if you guys want, I can kind of walk everyone through, my thinking here.
Yeah,
so
please do.
So with Vision, his tricky thing obviously is going to be, his mass form that, when he's dense, it gives him +2 across the board and, gives him an extra card draw when he does flip to that. However, when he's intangible, he cannot attack or defend. So because of that, I did not want to focus on event cards that were attack focused. So I'm going to just cut to the chase. So I put in 3 copies of Plan B, the upgrade here, which, might be surprising for some, but it's great. And I believe that you can do all 3. You would have to, discard a separate card for each one of them, but that would deal a total of 6 damage, and it's not an attack. So that could be great. You can spend 3 resources once they're all out on the table, and you can do 6 damage while even staying intangible. So that I think would be a great thing for Vision to be able to do. For my allies, I only threw in a couple since we wanted to do a villain that is going to be minion focused, especially with a lot of toughs. So of course I wanted to use Black Knight and Hawkeye, which are great to deal with minions, including Squirrel Girl. And I think Ant-Man, Hank Pym is always just a good ally to have at your side. With Vision's deck, he has several super powered cards. So Def Focus, I think, is definitely a go-to with his deck. And then with the mass form, constantly you can flip this once per round. I included all 3 copies of Ready to Rumble as well.
Okay.
Vision, of course, as him being, an Android player, I've got 3 copies of Reboot. Beat 'em up, which will also deal 1 damage without being 1 damage to the villain and each minion. And that also, like Plan B, is not an attack as well. So that's another good event card. In this case, I only included 1 copy of it. I'm at 43 cards. Avengers Tower can probably go since I don't have that many allies with me. And then a couple other cards to boost up my allies, like Inspired Sidearm, which has ranged to get past, Zola's Retaliate if Zola is going to be the villain. Mighty Avengers is great for your allies, but again, if I wanted to trim down to 40, I would probably get rid of Mighty Avengers, probably get rid of Avengers Tower as well, and then a mansion as well. 2 copies of Moxie. Again, because Vision is constantly changing form, and then that will just bolster him up +1 for all of his aspects, or all of his thwarting, attacking, and defense. And that is my leadership deck.
So question for you. If you're trying to do, because I'm seeing you're doing semi Voltron stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you planning on putting an ally, kind of like Iron Man, that you can kind of just throw those upgrades on for free, or like Giant Man, and then you can actually use cards like Teamwork when you're actually flipping down? Or is that in the realm of possibilities, or is that something that you would consider bringing into it as well? Because from what I see, there's some potential here of going with what you're trying to do, like for Teamwork, and then you could use strength in numbers to make your card draw even faster. Mm-hmm. Like maybe not the Moxies or like the Avengers Mansion. Like I know it's a 1 per, but having cards like the Moxies, not the Moxies, the strength in numbers gets you to ready. I like the ready for action, where you can kind of just, here, I'm just gonna toughen up my big guy. Every chance I get, that's going to be my go-to ally who's going to get tough, but I'm also going to be able to draw off of him or attack with him as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this deck, it feeds into, I guess, 2 different aspects of leadership. One is if you wanted to do Voltron, and in this case, it would probably be Black Knight of anyone, just, because he's got the piercing. So I would get the Sidearm and Inspired on him. Ready for Action obviously can be used with anyone just to toughen them up. But more of my focus is going to be on Vision, and with his mass form constantly flipping. So then the Moxies and the Ready to Rumbles and even reboot, will be able to just help amplify what he can do on his own.
Okay, cool.
I'm still at 32, so I feel like mine's a little too big.
I have mine down to the 25, but I'm still thinking about things because it wants to look for trouble and then do the bring its to draw cards off of the minions, right? But when you're in intangible form, which you're going to be probably in intangible form most of the time because of you got all these minions in front of you, you're not really going to be doing the looking or the into the phrase or relentless assault as often. So it's more like you're going to go back to dense form and then blow everything up and and start over again, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So kind of need to maybe lean more into the dive bomb and Thor so that Thor can blow everything up in front of me. Thinking here, thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe he might be good with some get over here's.
He does have the aerial, so it's not really that good if you're solo, but in multiplayer, it's good, especially what you do is you steal the minions from somebody else.
Exactly, right? So the get over here's will give me the lightning resource for Thor. And if I don't need them, or like if I were to do it, I would probably put 2, maybe at most. They would then be a lightning for Thor, and they would also steal the minions in the case that I need to use the bring its. So yeah,
Are you collecting minions in front of you? Is that I'm trying to see some of your deck there?
Yeah, so that's exactly what it is. It's got 2 looking for troubles, 2 bring its. I'm potentially throwing in 2 get over here's, which to get more minions in front of me. Yeah, pretty much.
So what I would suggest, what works, so this is the card that really slows you down because you lose that ability to tank them with the corrupted programming. So one of the ways to get out of that is it Spider Girl?
Yeah, she's here.
Okay. Oh, you got her. Perfect. Yeah, so she works really well that when you have a 2 thwart minion in front of you, like Ultron, you slap that on it and you confuse them, and that way when you have to flip down, it buys you a turn that you don't lose.
Yeah. So the allies that
Thor
I have
is the
in front
other
of me,
Thor is the other button you can push for sure.
Yeah. The allies that I have are Machine Man. He's an android. You can buff him. He'll benefit from the reboots. Don't necessarily need him in this build, I don't think. I don't think he really benefits that much. It's more just because he's an android, so he made the cut. Spider Girl, well, for the reasons you just said. Thor and Valkyrie, because they're going to be minion killers, and Nick Fury. So now that I really think about it, Machine Man might just be a pitch.
Yeah. He's great when you can dump cards into him, some characters, but otherwise it's just you just can play the cards. I mean, he's good thwart, but it feels like Lockjaw could be an option too,
Yeah, I think I would be throwing in a boot camp in that case because of Thor. He would benefit from the extra attack. Just 4 damage across the board would just be fantastic. I don't think the into the phrase are going to make that much of a difference because if I'm going to be staying in intangible form, I'll probably be thwarting most of the time. So they'll probably have less of a impact anyways.
Is there a good side scheme to pull for one way or another with Zola?
No.
Isn't there one that gives minions
an upgrade? That's the only one. The minion that gets the one that gives them an upgrade. The other 2 are the
4
test subjects.
Test subjects, yeah.
How do I heal him?
And there's nothing in his side ones. What does he shuffle in?
He's shuffling.
Oh, he shuffles in Ultron's one, right?
Correct.
Got it. So one way or another might not be super useful against him.
Yeah, correct.
I think I'm down to 29 cards. I got rid of Wiccan. I wanted Wiccan to deal damage. Same with this Stealth Strike, but there's a lot of damage in my kit. Like, it's not really an issue to get damage, you know?
If I
Yeah,
can
I'm-
interject, so Black Dog asked a question a little while ago. I just wanted to make certain that I did address it. So he was asking about the 3 plan Bs, and when I was talking through my deck, and you may have asked a question before I was running through my deck. So the thought again of the 3 plan Bs with vision is that when he is intangible, he cannot attack or defend, but the 3 plan Bs are not an attack card, but they do damage. So with all 3, you could deal a total of 6 damage if you discard, 3 cards. So basically you're spending 3 resources to do 6 damage, and it's not an attack, so vision can stay intangible. So hope that answered your question.
Nice.
Do it from intangible. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm leaning in towards, man, like I said, I just played that aggression, that Tech Matters deck with what's this with Iron Man. And then I'm looking at Vision, and I'm like, oh man, there's such a way that you could probably have some fun here with Vision to do the kind of like the same thing, focusing on those repurposes and getting a Vision ready multiple times a turn with leading blows and then stuff like that. And I'm just trying to see with the energy barriers, you're safe from. So here's my thought process right here, right? So what I'm looking at, and this is how I'm coming towards it right now. So let me see what you can see. This is Vision. Where's Vision? Right here. So as far as tech, I have the 2 force field generators, the 3 energy barriers, and
Sorry,
the 2 plasma pistols. So obviously, except for the force field generators, I can keep these tech weapons with 1 counter on it until I actually need them. Then I can use the repurposes to give my guy a bonus of plus whatever he needs, so I can stay intangible. And then when I need to go and do damage and really go in for the kill, I can flip to the dance form, use the repurposes to ready multiple times alongside with the leading blows, and then the ever vigilance to be able to ready, and then the reboots, which gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 ways to ready.
Well, you gotta have a suit then.
Huh?
You gotta put the suit on.
What suit?
The symbiote suit.
Put on the suit.
Everyone,
Go a few rounds.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, at that point, the +1 to your stats probably doesn't matter because you're getting +2, +3, whatever, right?
Exactly. What's great about repurpose
Non-solo, I would absolutely throw a suit in. In solo, it could run you into trouble, I guess.
I don't think it would actually matter, because you could probably take the villain down before he can actually do anything. So if you're starting in dense form, you can do all of that and then go intangible. And then you have, let's say, those minions that don't really matter. You put the pin downs on them. So you're kind of diluting your deck and just, you don't really care about the minions. You just take care of Zola. So even if you're in intangible form, now you're getting -4 to these minions.
Diluting your deck or thinning your deck?
Diluting, yeah, thinning your deck. So I think I
mean, it's 2 different things.
Is it really?
It is.
It absolutely is.
So I'm thinking about using the meditations as well but I think I'm short a few 3-cost cards here to make it.
Yeah, I thought about meditation, but he really, in some sense, he flips down every 3rd turn, right?
Correct. But
so it just makes meditation again 1 or 2, and you hope you see him to start out. Could be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like maybe, I'll throw in that energy barrier on the first turn while I'm down, because everything else is cheap, right? Everything else is a 0-1 cost, 0-2 cost maximum.
Yeah.
I was,
You saw the comments there, Eric. I'm assuming.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you,
Okay.
Yoda's Hut. Plan B is one per
Yes.
player. Sometimes it does help to read the cards.
Yep.
well, I wasn't too sure.
Absolutely does.
I was gonna say something, and I'm like, it's like when I was showing off that Black Widow with the warrior skill, I'm like, oh shoot, it's true. It's only one per, and I was like, because it's written on the side, like it's not there. So I was like, oh, dude,
Yep,
how did I miss
yep.
that?
So I could definitely replace 2 of the Plan Bs. I can throw in a couple more allies. I can either do maybe a Machine Man, since he's got the android trait. The reboots will help him out. An Ironheart as well. And I know Vision has Vivian as his signature ally, and we can always include the basic as well.
No, you
Obviously,
can't.
as long as both of them aren't in play at the same time.
No, she's unique.
You can't.
Oh, they can't even be in the same deck.
No.
Correct.
Oh, okay,
like,
got it. Okay,
yeah.
so scratch that.
Yep.
Okay.
So she's unique for Vision. So
another thing to think
Yeah,
about for this
okay.
scenario is Vivian starts out of your deck. Remember,
correct.
So I have a quick question. Are we
so you've
teaching
got a
people
thwart
how to
for
deck build,
3.
or are they teaching us?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Right, exactly.
I don't think we're teaching. I don't want to
know,
get
I'm
any
just
sense of like
messing.
No,
these are
I'm
the
think we're
best
definitely not
teaching at
candidates.
teaching
all.
anybody. Yeah.
The joke
It's-
is definitely I just making sure it's kind
Yeah,
of like
yeah,
a build along. I don't know if anybody is building at home. Yeah, Brombe, I know. I love that stinking suit. Every time I can play it, anytime I have an excuse to ready and
Of
draw
course.
cards to get set up, I love that suit.
It is pretty good, and adding the meditations with the symbiote suit would definitely make it work. And even in a multiplayer game, Vision has enough really good cards because at first I was like, I'm gonna lean into just shuffling back the mass increase to be able to stun him, and then
Like
play
Jocasta.
off of Jocasta, and then just having like a perfect defense strategy where you never take any damage. You just recycle these.
That's my uncle, Joe Costa.
That's
my uncle.
Yeah, there you go. So, and I was, and then the more I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, I do that a lot with the perfect defense strategy, especially when a hero has a very good card, and Vision can recur that mass increase twice with the what's it called, the density controls. Plus, if I would add Jocasta, that's 3 times I could stun the villain while exhausting, while doing that. So I could still kind of play off of that. So always like take no damage from Zola using just Jocasta as an ally, and I can actually feed into that while I'm setting up. So, but again, you have to have it in hand. You have to be in dense form. So there's a few limitations, but it's still a very good card.
Yeah. Any feedback on mine, Steve?
What?
I don't know.
I can't see what I'm seeing that.
Okay, so I'll go from left to right here. You got, obviously, don't need to talk about those. Looking for troubles, 2 bring it's, 2 get over here's. This is with the multiplayer game. That's why the get overs here's are there. Plus the addition of Thor, it would help him, do his ability, and Valkyrie as well. A couple reboots, heal and ready, especially because I'll probably take a damage here or there from minions that are in front of me. Endurance and depth focus. Got the couple relentless assaults, Spider Girl, Hall of Heroes. I don't know if I need it if I'm going to be focusing on Bring It. Martial prowess to help out with like when I'm trying to go for the dive bomb at the end, and there you go.
So my only suggestion here is if you're going to go with the Bring It strategy, you should run 3.
Should 3 Bring It's?
Yeah.
You should definitely run 3 Bring It's. If you're going to go with the Bring It strategy, you want to have those in your deck.
Because there's odds of one in your starting hand and you don't get to play it.
Yeah.
Well,
So
you get to at least cycle 1 against him.
So not looking for trouble though, right?
Nope,
No.
no, the looking for troubles are fine. The
Do
two
you
of
have
them.
Angela?
The what?
Angela is not here. I didn't even think about that
That's a
actually. If
good
it's the
point.
bring it strategy.
I would
Correct.
I would probably get rid of Nick Fury. Seriously, I don't think you need Nick Fury in this deck. I don't think he makes any sense in that deck.
Oh, there you go.
I would also recommend 2 dive bombs
I had to originally, yeah.
because again,
So you have
if you-
2 dive bombs and a Thor are your outs, right?
exactly. So you want to
All
have
right.
those. Oh
And
my
you know what I
gosh!
would do is take those relentless assaults out.
I was gonna suggest the same thing. And then I don't think you really need the Hall of Heroes because you don't.
Because the card draw is all in the bring it's, right?
It's all in the bring it. So that card is just too slow for you.
And I don't know I don't know how many minions you're planning on having in front of you, but if you are planning on having a significant number, then Hercules is a good ally. And it's
That's
fun
There
because you
you go.
don't get to
Hall of
use
Heroes
Hercules
out,
very often.
Hercules in.
So
exactly.
that's what makes it really fun.
There you go.
So
And
if you get to
this
like
is
4, by the time he
how we
costs
normally
2,
build.
he's fine at 3, but once you get him to 2, 1, and 0, he's unbelievable. I mean, obviously 0, but
Obviously,
like,
he's doing 12 damage for nothing.
yeah.
And you don't even need like. I remember when I was doing the Thor Bring It deck, which is you can kind of do something very similar. The thing is, you don't even need to take damage. So everything you can do while you are in intangible form, which is amazing. And then when you actually need to finish the game, well, then you just flip. Are you actually? Oh, wait. If you're going for the dive bomb, you have to put that hone technique in there.
Yeah, he seems to have a build where he's going to collect minions, flip, kill them, flip back, collect more. It feels like it's like a rinse and repeat more than a go for the kill.
That's right. It seems like
I don't think you need
that.
2 dive bombs in that case because to get dive bomb, well, to do all that, you're going to need hone technique plus his cape, right? Is it his cape or is it his gem?
Yes,
the cape.
Which one makes him aerial?
The gem.
The gem.
Oh, the
So
gem.
like you're getting a lot of setup to get that. So if you run into trouble in your first deck pass, you might not be set up, you know?
Yeah, you might not have that. So in your build, you have to prioritize that aerial card. You have to prioritize.
Yes.
But those are things to think about when you are building a deck. Like, okay, so these are the priorities. Again, in the solo play, I would get rid of the 2 get over here's because then it doesn't really make sense.
Oh yeah, in a solo play, get over here is not needed at all. It's
And then
this idea is, I mean, the idea is, I think, is that we're kind of building for more of a multiplayer game, like a 2 to a 4, right? Obviously, not generally solo. I mean,
So
you could probably play any of these solo. You would just need to modify certain things to then make it solo. Like you're saying, get over here. There's no point in solo.
Yeah, if you were solo, I'd put Throg in to have a blocker.
Yeah.
And then once you have Throg and Angela to deal with toughs, I don't know if you have a plasma pistol, you can put in the spear. But it's not great. Is it energy spear? Is that what it's called?
Energy spear,
yeah.
But it's not great when you only have Angela, but when you have Angela and Throg, then you've got 2 targets for it. It works a little better. But if you're not planning on playing solo, I don't think you need to worry about the blocking as much. Somebody might be able to block for you.
I was gonna say instead of the spear, which is gonna just be, oh, I need that guy there. That 1 damage to beat him up. That beat him up card, it is not an attack, so you can get rid of all the toughs.
Yeah.
And 1 damage to everything, and that's in front of you. And not only that, but then it leads into your dive bomb because once you bring it and you have 7, 8 minions, like that 2
would be the case where instead of having the 2 dive bombs, I would remove the 1, go back down to 1, so that when I'm ready to do the dive bomb, I then do the beat. Well, beat 'em up is not an upgrade, right? It's just an event.
It's just an event. It's 1 damage to everything, right?
2 costs, isn't it?
2 costs, yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, that makes sense, right?
Correct.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to run through mine a little bit here, and then I want to move on to the next deck build so that we have time, because I'm thinking we'll finish around 10.
Yeah.
So I feel like mine is kind of straightforward. It has some elements that are specific to Vision, but this is really just a solo control Justice, which Justice basically does the best. I guess Protection is definitely in there too, right? But anytime you can just control that threat, you can usually kind of control a game in solo. So I've got a lot of the classics in here with like Coulson and the Spycraft, right, to just hold that down. Death Focus with him is so good. The Sonic Rifle, because Zola can be confused, so that gives you the, and you don't need a lot. You just need to confuse him again, because every maybe 3 turns you're going to go down to heal or whatever. Heroic Intuition, which again, maybe even that can come out, but with the reboots, it allows you to just heal and work with that. Ironheart and Nick Fury and the Avengers Mansion are going to help with your card draw. And then since you can change forms, you've got these Lay Down the Laws. Honestly, I love this Stealth Strike card, and I figured I needed some damage, but it might be able to go at the cost. And then I put a sidearm in here to go on Vivian. So the idea is once you get Vivian, you can put that, and then she can just start hitting the boss and readying with the reboots to kind of get to the end game. But honestly, for damage, it's not a big deal. And the other option, sorry, I cut you off a little bit there, was you could put in the heroic Sense of Justice, because actually you can play these attack cards with Sense of Justice.
It's true.
But I
was going to be, I was like, I didn't see your Sense of Justice in there.
But with the Death Focus, I already can play these ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I guess Sense of Justice does let me play the Lay Down the Laws
for free. Yeah.
And I was thinking like my gem would do that, you know?
Oh, correct.
Once I put down the solar gem, I would kind of have that. So it's, again, trying not to get the deck too big. I think this is 28 cards. So, I mean, you could pull a skilled investigator, but it's not bad to have.
I was going to say the Power in All of Us is probably the one card I would quote, because you only have Nick Fury, that plasma pistol, and the mansion.
Yeah, there's 4. So 4 is usually where I put 1 in, especially to get the mansion out, because it's going to be hard to play the mansion otherwise, you know?
Correct. I don't even think you really need the mansion. You could always just put one way or another, and if that card will replace your mansion, because it'll give you that burst turn for 3.
But we were saying it would be crappy to play that card, right? But you pull the one.
Yeah. Or you go get the minion, and it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could pull these 2 and you get almost down to 25 cards, right?
Correct.
5, 10, that's 7 for 17, 20, 26 cards now.
Yeah.
Cool.
Is an
It
option.
looks like you're there. Yep.
I'm not sure where the damage is, but he does have so much damage in his kit. I don't think it's an issue.
Is it 5 damage or 7 damage? That big
7.
The big one is 7, and this one is 5 with piercing. So honestly, like even maybe the pistol isn't a big deal.
Yeah.
So that could get you down to 25.
Yep. Brian Blair, thank you for joining us. You are definitely not seeing double vision.
It's quadruple vision.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're building
intended.
Yes.
Doom. That's funny. It's funny because we're all vision.
Wait, become intangible. He can't see you.
Right.
Cool. So here's some builds. So if I don't know if you're in the vision camp or not in the vision camp or whatever. I mean, I'm always like, I think Steve is probably similar to me. I don't know about the others, but like, I'm always like, how do I make them work? Not, are they as good as Doctor Strange? You know what I mean?
Correct.
It's a different thing. So I can understand where Vision ended up low. Somebody was going to end up low on the count, right? On the ladder, next to Valkyrie. And so it was Vision. And I also understand that Shadowcat is just a lot smoother for solo, especially. And the fact that she ignores all damage versus 2 damage, right? Just makes her more exciting than Vision. But I think Vision has a lot more interesting plays and things he can do with, again, with the reboots and the changing form that does set him apart. And Vivian, honestly, the Vivian leadership is ridiculous. If you recur Vivian, it's a pretty broken strategy if you just play to recur her too.
I was going to say, why play to recur her when you could just play to keep her? You play her once, you give her a couple of extra activations. Like, why need to play her over and over when you can just
Well, she only has 2 health.
Yeah, but that doesn't really matter, right? Because the reboot heals her when she activates.
Oh yeah, I mean, you could for sure. Yeah, you could do that as well. You could you could load her up with things to give her health or something, inspired, etc. Right?
Mhm.
Correct. Because then she
Well, inspired doesn't give her health, so you'd have to give her a suit.
the suit, honorary Avenger, just
Yeah.
all these little
Right.
upgrades you can put on her. That
Yeah, you could do that. That might be dependent on a build, right? You'd have to build her up, whereas the other one allows you to you could just keep recurring. You just keep making the call for her, right? So you just guarantee it more because you got 3 make the calls and you got 2 or 3 of the whatever the one rapid response.
Oh wow. Okay, so but rapid.
So it's a lot. It's a
Yeah,
lot
okay, so-
easier. It's a lot easier to just get her back, right? You don't have to worry about waiting to build her up.
Mhm.
Correct.
Yeah.
No,
So
it's true.
you can
Yeah.
use her in the process. So she's the one thwarting and she's the one dealing damage, and until you get to the end game.
What's Vision doing?
Yeah.
He's just chilling.
He's just calling her. He's just watching some TV.
Exactly.
Yep.
Because
Oh,
there's
man.
that one that
Yeah.
brings her back, right? What does the Hickory Lane do? Does it
Yeah,
just go dig
exactly.
her out of the discard pile?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hickory Branch Lane will keep bringing her back.
No,
as
no,
well.
it's Hickory Smoked Lane. Get it right.
Hickory Smoked Lane.
Yes.
Mine is aggression, overkill, and ready him. Rather than mention mansion, what about a Quinn Carrier? So I thought about Quinn Carrier, but he has a solar
gem.
gem.
For cheaper.
So
Yeah.
I've already got it in there. So it never you could build as big as you want, but you might just make the deck too big. I think the next card I would put in if I were to add to this would be the Sense of Justice, because it would trigger these lay down the laws, and then with the Death Focus, when you get to the end, it makes these solar beams basically
For
cost
one.
1.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good, yeah.
So I think I would probably add that back in. I wanted to have the gem or the other thing, the mansion, but I forgot I'm so used to playing a build similar to Brian's that you're actually going to draw a card every other turn when you switch forms here.
Correct. So
Yeah.
you
So he's
don't.
going to be drawing cards off of this, and then the skilled investigator might help him to draw a card. So
Zola doesn't have that many side schemes though, right?
But
Right.
you can just work that into a different modular set.
So, well, I was just yes, that's true, but like we were going off the idea that you were just going to be playing Zola as recommended. So,
Correct.
like if you were technically playing Zola as recommended,
You-
maybe the skilled investigator comes out for that sense.
Well, there's 2.
I mean, if you
would
get it
under-
early, there's 2 schemes in. That's the start of the game, right?
That is true. Yes.
and then under
An
attack.
expert.
Yeah, and then the under attack one, which is called I think it's just under attack, right? That's
Oh,
like
right. It's either place threat or deal damage to yourself.
you're like, well, I'll just place, there you go, add 3
Yeah.
to that, and I'll just take care of it in one turn.
And I'll draw 3 cards. Yeah, I could do one way or another. So
yeah.
there's some options. 26 is not bad to me. I would probably go to 27 or 28 without an issue with a one way or another in a Sense of Justice.
Yeah, I would get
Um,
I think that Stealth Strike's the one card that's kind of off in that deck. It's the only one.
Yeah, I
that-
was thinking to kill the 4 cost, the tough minions.
Yeah,
It would kill them because they don't have a lot of damage otherwise. Actually, the reason I had what's his name, but I put Daredevil in just so I'd have somebody who could deal damage.
yeah, but he just takes off the toughs, right? So then you don't.
But it might be Vision that deals the damage. So I'll put him in here and take a picture because I promised people that I would try to put this up on Marvel
shoot.
CDB.
Oh my god, all of them?
No, well, if you guys
No,
want to send
just-
me pictures, I'll try to do the work, but I'll do mine specifically.
Just Brant's.
You guys do not have to. I'm not asking you to do that work. You are joining me. I am happy.
Yeah. Brant's deck is the only one that's important. Ours don't make a difference.
That's right. The other
Ours
decks
don't matter. Okay.
Yeah.
All decks
There
matter.
you go.
All decks
All right.
matter.
So now what I wanted, any other things on these? Anybody? Otherwise, I'll monopolize the conversation.
No,
Nope.
I think Vision, what the fun part about Vision is that he is a unique type of Avenger. He is an android. And I think building off of certain cards, I think that's for me. I remember when I first build him in all aspects, that is the first thing I try to look for. I'm like, look at his signature cards. What does he do different? Or what can I focus on to make him unique from the rest?
Right. Definitely. No, I definitely agree
Keep
with
trying,
you.
Brian. Always keep trying.
And I would encourage people who really like Shadowcat to give him another try. I think maybe try some of these decks that we built. And I think you might find something that works different from Shadowcat that is enjoyable.
For anyone watching, do you guys have a vision build that you like? Is there, if you want to add into the comments, let us know, if there's a certain approach that you like to take.
Brian Blair said his aggression is overkill. Mine is aggression, overkill, and ready him is what he does.
So,
Yeah, and Brian, you were right. Brian Blair, you said one way or another. I think Brombe was alluding to it. I would not play one way or another in 4-player. Maybe if there was a scheme that's not very big, like I always think of the Titan's Throne.
yeah.
It's like a 2 cost that just amplifies, or like in the tower defense, there's one that has 2, and then when you defeat it, you get to draw a card.
Yeah, easy
So,
one.
like pulling something like that out in multiplayer can be worth it because it's like, it's not a big deal and there's a defense. But I agree with you. In 4-player, I think one way or another is just not really a card that's worth playing other than something like Taskmaster, right? Like there's certain ones, but it's not very good. But I was building this for solo, not for 4-player vision. All right. So what I want to do next is take some hero suggestions from the audience. I don't really have a poll. Instead, if people are with us and they can put some heroes in chat that they would like to see us build, then I don't know, Steve, I know you probably can't see chat as much and other people. You don't have to go to your face cams if you don't want to, whichever is good. So now I wanted to try to build some heroes that the chat would like to see built. And then as they come up, you guys can just say, oh, I'll take that hero or whatever,
Okay.
if there's one you want to see. And I'll let you pick Eric, Brian, Steve, I'll let you pick the aspect
It's
and the
random,
villain that
baby.
you might want to face. But let's see if we can get some suggestions in the chat. There's a couple things coming in about Vision still. I have a Justice build that I built around him, basic thwarting with heroic intuition and making an entrance. Then damage comes from the Turn the Tide and Pivotal Moment.
That's perfect.
I could see that. Clear that. I know I thought about like clear the area and turn the tide, but turn the tide could be pretty good, but the clear the areas, there was already just so many ways to remove threat, but you could not play the lay down the laws for sure. So, but that makes sense. You can really get him to be a basic thwarting machine and then adding in a really cool card for him is just those reboots, right? It works on him and Vivian. Super cool.
I was just going to say, what I would love is if after this is done, if you guys want to comment on the video with your deck ideas, like with the link to like Marvel CDB and stuff like that.
That's a great idea.
I would love to see them, and I would love to potentially even try them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Would you?
Yeah, that's a good call. Or you can put them on the Facebook group. Would work too. Either's good.
Yeah.
I've got the video there, and you can put them up there.
There you go.
All right. So Brombe says Quicksilver. Is anybody like boom Quicksilver?
In an original way, I can do Quicksies.
Cool.
It's been a long time, man. Quicksilver. There's been so many characters.
Are we doing for let's go for 100 plus damage build.
Go.
99 damage. Exactly.
Exactly 99.
Oh, I gotta give you that challenge. That's great. 99 damage exactly.
Because I know I can go over 99. I know I can go over 100. I just trying to see.
Can you get to 99 exactly?
Can I get to 99 exactly? That is way better.
All right. So, and then Yoda's Hut says Black Panther. Is anybody interested in trying to build Black Panther?
I just did a tribute video for Black Panther doing 4 decks, so
Black Panther.
They could suggest an aspect too, something they'd like to see. Like,
hasn't Steve been fine-tuning a Valkyrie deck like forever?
Yes.
We're gonna go no Valkyrie.
Yeah, it's still in the works. Steve's Valkyrie deck.
Nova without hone technique and dive bomb. Yeah, right. It's true. Why does Nova specifically get that? Is it because he starts aerial?
Yeah.
Does it work as well for Spectrum?
Yep.
Got
it. So Spectrum, Nova, and Thor are the 3 that you want to do the home technique dive bomb. because it's easy and it's imminent. It's ready to go.
Yeah.
Here we go. We got
Multiplayer Rocket, I would be pretty open to doing it. I realize it wouldn't be as effective, but yeah, all the stuff you could overkill it's pretty silly at that point. You pay 3 for that card, maybe 2.
So you need
which
3
could be a double resource, and then potentially in a 4-player game, you could draw like 10 cards.
I know. But for Rocket to work, you need to put 3 in your deck to make sure that you get it fast. And then you put the 3 dive bombs in your deck. So make sure that you're consistent, that you're going to get it. And as soon as you find that aerial card, those rocket boosters, you're in. Everything else don't matter except for that and that. And if and you focus on that, you're sure to get it.
Nice. So is anybody interested? I don't know who took what. There's Quicksilver, Nova, Black Panther. Somebody's asking about the ultimate Doctor Strange deck. I will do that Doctor Strange thing at some point.
Yeah, Vader's asking for a Wasp deck.
Yes,
Wasp.
Vader asked for a Wasp.
I can work on that.
Oh, Wasp is so fun.
I'll do a Panther.
Steve is asking you, Steve, you want them to give you an aspect for Quicksilver?
Well, not only just get an aspect, or is there something that you want to see different, like something different? Is there a strategy you want to go to? Because
Sure. So we'll ask Brombe because Brombe suggested Quicksilver. So Brombe, is there a style or an aspect or a villain you want Steve to fight, or do you want him to deal exactly 99 damage?
it just means to bring my attack up.
Just suggest it. Suggest it.
I just need to bring my attack to 9, and then I'm good. Because then I just need to attack 10 times.
There we go. So similarly,
Brian
Vader
says.
Yep. I was going to say, Vader, do you have an aspect preference on Wasp or
basics? That's
do all basics.
Basics is not an aspect. They put it in the RRG.
I know, but still, Wasp basics is still one of the most powerful decks in there.
Yeah, just do all those mental cards.
Great. All those great cards.
I'll ask Yoda, since Yoda is saying this about Black Panther. What aspect would you be curious to see Panther in now?
I don't know if we're going to get responses on those, but we'll see. Sorry, Brian. I don't know. So Brian Strange asked me, there's 3 Brians right now.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Dude, this is my life.
Actually, there's 4 Brians, I could tell you, although one of them in the chat is not specifically Brian, but
this is my life, man.
Life of Brian? Dude, this actually called Life of Brian.
Black Panther with aggression.
Quicksilver
Panther.
No, Protection Black Panther.
Protection Panther.
Oh, Protection. Okay.
Quicksilver aggression using fluid motion.
Okay.
Oh, and that's a weird one because he doesn't have a lot of attack events.
And then,
all right. Protection Panther. Let's see what I got.
I got
any aspect for Wasp is fine.
Okay.
Wasp is a beast in every.
So I'm either building. I think I'm building Nova. All right. I still haven't answered Brian Strange. So did I miss the ultimate Doctor Strange deck? No. So Jason at D20 had said, is there a 1 deck? I feel like I've talked about this a bunch now. And said that Wolverine Protection was the 1 deck. I played it and it was very good. There was no doubt it was a very good deck. Wolverine is just a very good hero. I do think Spider-Ham fits in there somewhere. He's crazy strong. So I was thinking about playing him this week. So then, but I said I think Doctor Strange is stronger. So I actually went and played Thanos with Wolverine and with Doctor Strange, and they were both great against Thanos. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, one is so much better than the other. But Wolverine had a couple moments of like, oh no, and Doctor Strange was just absolutely in complete control the whole time.
Yeah.
And so that felt like the big difference is that Wolverine doesn't have all the answers. He just can kill so quickly while doing control. He's building, controlling, and killing. So it's that definition of tempo that I believe people talk about a lot. Yeah. He's always putting damage on things. So then when you don't need as much control because you're getting damage quickly. But I'll do it sometime. I'm going to play. I don't know if that's the fight to do. I thought that would be good because it takes away Doctor Strange's stun and confuse. But I'm wondering if I should do something like Venom Goblin, just something that is difficult, you know? and do those against them. Because if you can beat Expert Venom Goblin, it feels like you can beat most things. I feel like Ronin is kind of a trick now, but like Descry has put that
to bed.
shame in my mind. He's beat Expert Ronin with like what 20 different heroes or something.
Yeah,
so it doesn't really.
It's always been
annoying.
It's always been like in 20 plus games. Like it's very rarely on the first try, and
True.
there's a lot of RRG. You know, like I didn't get this card and I did this card, and so he's very good like at controlling this that part of the game, because then it's like, okay, I'm going to cancel just this card. These are the cards I need to cancel with the ship. I need to keep my resources to cancel these cards. But once you figure that out, it becomes a lot simpler.
I really want to do Rocket and Groot versus Ronin, because they're getting a lot of shade right now. Like Nelson just put up a quick, like one of those whatever YouTube shorts, and he had 5 random heroes and he ranked Rocket at the bottom of the 5.
Shame.
And then Marvel Champions Monthly, they just did one and they gave Rocket a C score for fun factor.
What?
I know. So I'm like, and then Groot was lower, and I was like, all right, I gotta get them respect. Like I gotta do Ronin, or I gotta do Venom Goblin or Loki or something with the 2 of them, you know?
Here's why I don't like tier lists. Just because it's like, because then a lot of times people will just not even try them and be like, oh yeah, okay, so everyone doesn't think they're fun. I'm not even gonna invest. Yeah.
Well, I will. So first off, I don't know what Nelson's going to do tomorrow. He's doing some kind of end of the year ranking for all those. But I will say, before I do that, I'm kind of joking with Kennedy Hawk, and I think it was Addercop was the other one. But they actually did a great job. It was pretty cool. They put up a thing, and then it was
tabletop. It was tabletop rankings, right?
Yeah. And they did it where like you could put somebody in a tier, or you could move them up or down the tier. It was fun. Like they did it in a fun way. So it was not, I don't think it was with an intent of like, this is a definitive list. It was more like a fun thing to listen to. Kennedy, like, gamified it, and it was pretty neat. So on that front, I would definitely tell people to look at the video, even though I strongly disagree with the rocket placing. I don't want to push people away from the content.
Where's Ms. Marvel? That will be.
She was pretty high. Yeah, she was pretty high.
Because she's the best.
Yeah, she's real good. So, all right, let's see. Wolverine just naturally does tempo very well. I appreciate. I know a lot of people hate playing Doctor Strange, but it should be obvious why he's my favorite. Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, and Steve, I should tell you this. Brian Strange said he was looking for a really good Iron Man deck, and then he watched your game there, and it was phenomenal. So he said, "Great job."
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Rocket is super fun, and it was a fun video. I think Brombe is referring to the Marvel Champions one. Yeah, exactly. It was more of a head-to-head game, so where I'm just being silly. But I thought about something like Rocket and Groot because I think there's things they can do really well, and they're very fun to me. So, all right, I got to build Nova. I didn't get an aspect for Nova. So what I'm going to do with Nova, because it said don't use dive bomb and hone technique, I'm assuming that person is asking for aggression, but I'm going to fade to leadership because I want to go back to what I did at the Con of Heroes. And I built him to recur Miss Marvel's recur events with Miss Marvel. And now, right, she could be tough and still do her thing.
I don't like that.
Or she could be. Is that correct?
Play that way. Yeah, I think it's dumb because her exhausting and taking that damage is before the arrow, so it should be part of the cost, which would invalidate.
But it's just deal her 1 damage, so that's why she could lose the tough.
Correct.
And keep it. Also, with Go for Champions, she can still recur cards.
I know. I don't like it. I
love it. I love it because Steve hates it.
I don't like it. I think I
All
don't
right,
like.
Brian and Eric, how are you guys doing? I feel like Steve and I had our own conversation. How are you over there?
No, we're good. I'm working on a protection Wasp deck. It's been a long time, I have to admit, since I played as Wasp. But
It's also
so
been for me as well a
yeah.
long time since I've played protection. Well, Black Panther period, I think. Protection as well. And I'm just looking through some of the new stuff like
Mhm.
Powerful Punch. Could be a cool one.
Oh, Nova's amazing because I can play. What's her name?
What's her
Who's
pick?
the Moon Girl?
There you go.
Yeah. Moon Girl is great because also I can play her as Wasp if I can get her in play when I'm in Alter Ego.
Yeah.
Since Wasp does have that genius, and Moon Girl is also a mental resource, which is Nadia's favorite.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is your other great Wasp card.
Which one?
Assess
Oh,
the
yes.
situation.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
love it.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to go to Alter Ego and have a 9-card hand size. Okay.
And then I'm gonna recur that and draw more cards. I'm like,
No doubt.
no.
You know what I love on Nova is the symbiotes. I'm kidding.
Right.
So funny.
Yeah.
I played I don't know if you watched my Spider-Man campaign game, like randomness campaign, and I played
It didn't have enough symbiote suits for me.
I know, eh? I played a really fun Justice deck where I was actually using Confuse as a resource for damage with the Swift Retributions and stuff like that. I tried it with Nova,
Gotcha.
and it was just as beautiful.
Isn't it just better to play the other card though? Scare Tactics?
It's 1 for 3.
Scare Tactics is 1 for 3 and Swift Retribution is 1 for 4.
Yeah, I was looking for damage, right? So I think did I put the Scare Tactics?
Oh, it was like on a kill turn?
No. It was just what I was doing is I was using the guns to I would confuse. I was running 3 concussive blows, 3 guns. I didn't run Professor X, but Professor X would definitely fit into that kind of build because for some reason I don't like the cross teams. I'm like, well, why is Professor X dealing with Nova? He's not in space, So, but for me, I try to build more thematically and still try to fit these little quirks in them. But yeah.
All right. We got what I wanted, which is a lot of chat. So I'm going to make sure I go through this now.
All right.
I think Yoda's Hut hit. If I know what this says, I didn't actually read it. Yoda's Hut says, in my opinion, Rocket Group
Yes.
got a bad rep because their precons just were not good matchups against the Galaxy's most wanted campaign. I mean,
Correct.
that's it. 100%.
Exactly.
It's exactly it. Galaxy's Most Wanted was the hardest campaign we got. Very simply, I think Steve and I have said it, but like if they put Star-Lord and Gamora in that box,
different game.
and then that campaign would have been almost totally fine. It would have been weird because Boggs asked you to do a lot of different things we were all used to building up, and you couldn't, but Star-Lord and Gamora can handle it. They can constantly put pressure on and get things moving, and they go fast. Both of them go fast. They're 2 of the highest output damage heroes. So they would not have had nearly the issue. Rocket and Groot both are slow. They can't do Galaxy's Most Wanted well.
It's funny that Rocket and Groot are coming up, but I always remember that one game that we played where you guys were trying to show off your decks, and my Groot protection deck was just like going off.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember what we were playing against, but it was just
the B tier.
It was the B team. That's what it
or
was.
the D
It was the B
team.
team.
Was it the D team? Like it was
Maybe.
even
I don't
worse
know.
than the B team.
Yeah.
Is that the
Something
one
like
where
that.
we played Skirmish Rhino? No,
I
kidding.
can't.
I don't know. So
I remember that. It was like was it Thor? No, it was Hulk.
Hulk, Valkyrie,
Who was
and Groot.
Oh, was it Valkyrie?
Yeah. So Yoda, I agree with you. Black Black Panther is, in my mind, great in protection because he could get up to a retaliate of 3, right? You got the electrostatic armor, the Dauntless, plus his regular basic retaliate. So yeah, I think he's a fantastic protection player.
Yeah, the pincushion strategy with him really, really works well.
Who is it?
Black Panther protection.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Pincushion.
All right, let's see what else we got for chat. Black Dog says Rocket is great. Groot, on the other hand, well, go see that game.
Ah.
The D team, go
Yeah.
watch Groot be ridiculous. Miss Marvel's really neat, says Brian Strange. I personally think the core box heroes have not become obsolete. I still have a blast using them with the new cards coming out. Yeah, go find a game where I'm playing Captain Marvel and you'll see a smile as big on my face as when I play Rocket. She is still... it's real hard. I stick with Rocket because thematically he's my favorite, but Captain Marvel might be mechanically my favorite.
Yeah. Brian Blair just said it. He was about to refer back to the Groot D tier game. Yeah.
Constantly changing. Yeah, the way. So Brian Blair here is also saying the constantly changing deal take tough rules make it very hard for me to keep it. So the confusing part is the way it comes to us. It's like community submit questions, and then they have a guy who's answering those questions. But I find sometimes when I get the answer to the question isn't covering all situations. Like they're asking about a specific situation and then interpreting the rules. So I think it's fine. I think with any of the rules that aren't in those official updates, which supposedly one is coming, but supposedly one is coming in the fall, back when Steve and I interviewed them. But we do know it takes a lot, and Disney and Marvel have to approve the rules changes. So
Which I don't get. Why does Disney care about what the rules say? You know.
Well, so yeah, because they have to approve everything. Like, that Spectrum is Spectrum and she's not Captain Marvel or something like that. I know that's
I
in the making, but
I
like,
can get for the names. That makes
however
sense.
they want, like whatever Miss Marvel logo they want to use, right? So they're just approving everything because they're being that way, right?
That way? Are you being that guy? They're being that guy, right?
They're just being overlords, right? They've just decided we want to have full control, so we're going to approve everything, even if it's a sentence change. I mean,
Because it's Disney.
yeah.
But we love Disney.
No, we don't.
So
Oh, have you seen
You
the
guys answered these. I did that with Venom
Ricky
or something.
Gervais roasting of when he was doing the Golden Globe Awards? He's like, if ISIS had a streaming service, you would all go.
yeah.
Oh man, that is. It comes up in my feed once in a while, and I just keep watching it because it's so funny.
Yeah, he definitely gave it to him.
I don't know that it's Disney and Marvel. They're one and the same. So I think they only get approval once. I don't think they get approval twice.
All right.
So it's not about not taking damage.
I think I'm at 48 cards maybe right now. I'm going to definitely have to trim down.
Really, guy? That much?
I haven't even started. You guys are way far ahead of me. I'm too busy yakking.
I'm just waiting for you guys.
Yeah.
Are you actually just waiting for us?
I actually am.
So I've definitely been going mental resource heavy with Wasp. I would say most.
Did you say you're going mental?
Yeah, exactly. I'm definitely going
mental.
Yeah, but I would say maybe at least 90% of her cards are probably mental.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So here's another fun upgrade. So I did this for Ant-Man and for Wasp. You guys may have seen these. I got this, I think, through Etsy.
Thanks for coming, Yoda.
Yep.
I like those.
Yeah.
I think those are really cool.
Yeah, this was fun, and then I added a little vinyl sticker to it as well. And
then, is that that's the double? That's the slider one, right?
Yeah. This is the slider one.
You're selling them for like what, $10?
Maybe something like that. They weren't too bad. Yeah, and then someone, I forget who, kind of reconfigured a little bit of the giant size, so the text box doesn't take up so much space. So they kind of blew up the image. And I thought they came out really nice.
Oh, okay. So that's, yeah, those are printouts, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just,
These are printouts, and then this is the actual card on the flip side.
okay. Yeah. I just printed it out and then had a double giant card. So,
Yep. Okay. Cool.
yeah. Then there's like, because there's 3 cards. Well, if you guys want to see, okay, so you know what? While you guys are still thinking about your thing, let's, I'll go down to the table. And because we wanted to go with a Quicksilver, really focused on being able to focus on the fluid motion. So obviously those cards are going to be the priority cards. And trying to also get to 99 damage in one turn.
Yeah.
I'm so
can do
proud
it.
of that.
So I was thinking about it. So right now I have a 25 card deck. So I have the fluid motion part down. Then it would just be to try to maybe, I would probably need to go to 45 cards to be able to go to a 99 damage, but I could get close. I could probably get really, really close. So obviously the fluid motions need attack events. Quicksilver does not have any attack events in his deck. So in order to make these fluid motions any good, you need to cram this with low cost events. So I'm running 3 get over here's, even though he doesn't have the aerial trait. It is a 0 cost attack that will trigger fluid motion if there's a minion in play. Aside from that, there's the precision strikes. If I kill something, I get to heal for 2, which is amazing. And also, I get to trigger the fluid motion for 1. Same thing with 1 by 1, and same thing with press the advantage. I would probably maybe get rid of a 1 by 1 and add a press the advantage if I can go with a stun, just because press the advantage, if there is a stun enemy, if I use my cyclonic wind there, I forget what it's called there, speed cyclone, this could actually net me a card and draw me, like it can replace itself, you know, almost.
Right.
So I can get an extra card from there. So that being said, that's for like trigger of the fluid motion. So I ran 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 events, 11 attack events. Then after that, you don't want to keep events in your deck once that's done. So I have the endurance to try to stay alive while I'm building all this this stuff. I have a combat training and a martial prowess, which is going to help me pay for my attack events. I also have the honorary avenger to stay alive. I have the death focus that pays for at least 1 get ready. I'll always be running. There's the 3 tenacities. This is going to help me get to my 99 damage because it's going to give me extra ready effects that I can trigger off of the what's the friction resistance.
Yep.
And this is a card I think a lot of people forget about, and it's so good with all of this tenacity from the core set is the combo card, the combo piece to get all of these mass effects like 18 invocations and shooting all of Hawkeye's arrows and readying like 100 times.
It's crazy to think about this core set card that most people probably won't even think about has
Because
some ridiculous potential.
They probably threw it out.
It's very expensive for its base ability, but its potential, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Is where it's at.
So that's where you're playing into. You're playing off into the potential of where you want to be. Now, if there's no minions, obviously these 3 are going to go away, and I'll add a 3rd press the advantage. These are all the 1 cost attack cards. I hope they print more attack cards that are very low cost, that don't do a lot of stuff. But anything that becomes a 0 to deal 1 damage, I would replace right away with these 1 cost if I'm going in for a fluid motion build. Because at the beginning of the deck, all you want to do is place your stuff. You just put your stuff down. Once you have all 3 of your fluid motions, then these guys become relevant. These event cards are just resources until you have all 3 fluid motions out. Or if you have a big minion and then you need to use it to, you know, kill something. But yeah, so once I have combat training and the 3 fluid motions triggered, this is one. So, and then I have the other card. So I would get a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attack. So that's not bad. If I wanted to get to my 9 attack, I would add the 3 copies of Adrenaline Rush to the deck. So this is where I would go into, like, if I'm going for the 99 damage. So going, or if I don't need to get there, if I run a, what is that card? The Maximum Velocity. I only need to add 1. But then I might need more resources to be able to play off of everything. So this is where it gets tricky, you know. When am I going to have the correct hand size? Am I going to be able to get to that 9 damage without? So this is where Fluid Motion is tricky with him, since he doesn't have any attack events. That's it. That's where I'm at. And then there's also the Earth's Mightiest Heroes. But since it's not an attack event, it is an extra ready. So I could possibly ready like 4, 5, 6 times. But really, if I want to do the 99 damage, Leadership would be the one to go to. It's
Nice.
true. Leadership would be the easiest one, because then I can
Right. Moxie and all that stuff.
I can definitely play off of those. And not only that, I can strengthen numbers to draw all the cards. So this is where it's a little tricky. I don't think I could do the 99 in aggression unless I'd have to do like a bring it and then try to survive and not die. So it would be pretty hard to do in one turn, because obviously everything I need to trigger Fluid Motion, let's say I have 3 cards, then I need 3 Always Be Runnings in my hand plus 3 attack events. But I don't have an Avengers Man. So you see where the problem lies. It's having the cards in hand. So that's why Leadership is so good with these combos. All right, I talked enough. There you go. So you have a Fluid Motion without doing the 99 damage, but you have a very solid, you could do easily in one turn with the Fluid Motion triggers like this around 40 damage consistently.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, Brombe thinks it's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
He's
Simply
beautiful.
beautiful.
Just brings a tear to his eye.
And Vader says they've never seen tenacity used before. So
Oh, there you go. Points for originality.
I've seen it when I challenged Steve to fire all of Hawkeye's 10 arrows in one turn.
Right, I remember that.
you get minus points from me. You know why?
Because there's no symbiote suit. Come on, Brandt.
I'm just kidding.
No, but it would definitely be, if I was going to try to do your 99 thing,
Right.
I would do. I just can't. I can't see the math right now with the card pool available right now and Fluid
9
Motion.
times 11.
So I'm trying to go for I think I'd like a damage, kind of like a damage sponge idea here with Black Panther, because of the fact that he's got the retaliate and everything, potentially up to 3. And on top of that, the vibranium suit, just that's your main. So the idea I have here, which could easily change, is the suit piece you want to get is vibranium suit. It's moving two from you to them, right? Healing you for 2. You got the momentum shifts that heal you for 2. 3 preemptive strikes, 2 powerful punches, essentially, to be taking in a multiplayer game, to be taking those attacks onto you from your allies. And you got the symbiote suit and endurance to just buff up that health as much as possible. You could probably put an honorary Avenger in there to, give you an extra health point. You got the Nerves of Steels to help you with the preemptive strikes and the powerful punches. Brother Voodoo is in here to be searching for your defense events or your events in total, like Wakanda Forever's. Jocasta can easily pull the preemptives and powerful punches back. The Get Behind Me's to cancel some treacheries, still kind of working with the taking damage theme. You have 3 energy barriers, just kind of adding a little extra retaliate to it. So you got the Dauntless, the electrostatic armor, plus Panther, retaliate of 3. If you plus the momentum shifts will heal you. And then if you have the energy barriers, you're just pinging extra damage and extra retaliates. And so it's kind of what I have here. I don't know if it's I don't know. It'll work. I thought about the repurposes, but I don't think you really care that much about the repurpose because you're not really looking to exhaust and defend to begin with, which you can, but yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
looks good.
I don't know.
I love it.
So I have a little if you're
Please,
going
please.
if you're going for are you going for pin cushion damage or you're definitely seeing what I'm seeing is you're definitely seeing a pattern of going for damage while defending, right? So you're kind of
So
doing a passive aggressive build, right?
yeah, so you got the preemptive strikes and the powerful punches so that when you're not the target, you can do the damage and then become the target. And by becoming the target, you then retaliate with
Correct.
everything, right?
So if you're going to be defending, why aren't you running the one that does flow like the water? Because I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it 5 or
It's
6?
5. There's 5. I thought
Yeah.
about it. I did think about it. I had it here, I think, and then I put it down. It's literally right here.
Yeah.
Obviously Unflappable is not going to make it because it's about taking damage. Right?
Right.
So you're not really going to be getting it. I had the flow like water, but I'm like, is it really going to be that much? I mean, maybe it could. Sure. You got the 5.
So are you trying to build for solo or multiplayer?
Probably multiplayer. Most of the time I build is for multiplayer.
So if
That's
you're
hence why the preemptive strikes and the powerful punches are here to take attacks away from you guys. Because as you can see, I don't really have allies other than which is going to be Shuri and Voodoo.
so instead of the momentum shifts, if you run a couple of what's the other one that if you defend and don't take any damage, you get to ready?
Yeah,
The desperate defenses, which means you can defend for somebody else, trigger your full like water, trigger all of your retaliates on other people's turns, and then after that you have the preemptive strikes where you can trigger that again. So you have multiple ways to defend for other people instead of just the 3 preemptive strikes.
Oh, the powerful punches are here too, though.
Yeah, so that you have 5s, you would have like 7, or you can go even to almost 8 of those events to block for other people. And again, your life won't matter if you have the pincushion thing there, the suit. If your armor is the only one that you actually care about in his kit, then if you have that, then when you do your Wakandas, you're always going to be healing for 2.
Yeah.
So I think there's a way where you can, and for 1 damage you would prevent the 2 that you would take and take the 2, and then you would inflict probably 4 5 damage on a block instead of just 2 from the momentum shift.
Well, the momentum shift is more for like during my turn so that I can heal back up a little bit more often instead of needing to flip down as often. It's just another way of converting the damage I've taken into health and damage right back, right?
But you have also the reason why I'm debating, like I said, we're just discussing here. But
Absolutely.
if you're, because the preemptive, no, like what is the biggest attack a villain has, right? It's 2, 3, 4, maybe.
Well, without
Before pre-boost,
upgrades.
I'm talking pre-boost, pre-upgrades.
Yeah, 4 is about the highest we see, right?
4 is the max we've seen so far. So if you're doing, let's say, if you're doing a defense and then you have the defiance and stuff like that cancels the boost cards, you have all this, you're going to defend. You have the energy barriers that redirect that one damage that may come through. If it's a boost of 3, then you have that preemptive strike that you can play. And then so then there's ways to defend 2 to 3 players. Obviously in the 4-player game, there's always going to be one guy in alter ego, but this gives you like a 3-way to always defend, like a minimum of 3 times per turn.
So what you're suggesting is the 2 momentum shifts out for 2 desperate defenses.
Yeah, because then you have other ways to bring the game back to you, and then
so this way I use this desperate defenses when he's attacking me specifically, right? And
or when he's attacking somebody else, and you're like, oh, you're in trouble. Wait, let me defend for you, and then I'll get to ready.
But
It's a
that's
strong card
only,
for sure.
Yeah, that's only if I'm taking no damage, right?
Correct. But if you have all these damage mitigation cards, then you should be good, right?
In general, yeah, should be, yeah.
Yeah. Because like I said,
it doesn't look so bad. The 2 momentum shifts out, 2 desperate defenses in.
Yeah, I could see that, or even though it doesn't kill me, and then you could just actually block, take some damage, and then heal and ready with that. Although you wouldn't be able to block for multiple people, but
don't forget as well, you don't need to always block the boss with the desperate defense. You can block.
No, I can use it for minions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, I'm not sure the boss seems. We haven't seen a lot of.
it's a good way to draw and flappable too. But then you're thinking about that.
And taking the fact that, let's say we're going up against someone who has 3 health cost minions, desperate defense, block against them, then retaliate just kills them.
Exactly, because then you between your unflappable, not your
because of the
unflappable, but
retaliate, yeah.
then exactly,
More
because
like
now you have
one.
retaliate 2, because you put an electrostatic armor in the deck, right?
Yeah, there's flow like water, nerves of steel, so that I can do the preemptives and the powerfuls.
Yeah.
3 energy barriers for essentially an extra kind of 3 retaliate abilities that I want to use. The armor, the dauntless, endurance with suit. So it's what, 1, 2.
I just don't think you need the Quinn Carrier. I don't see you needing the Quinn Carrier in that deck.
27. So let's take the Quinn Carrier out, brings it to 26. That's not bad.
And then you have
it's very low to the ground, as you can see. All these upgrades are 2 and 1 cost.
Yeah.
Even in his kit, his everything is 2 and 1 cost. So his highest stuff is right here. You got 4 cards above the 3 cost curve.
That's it.
And once those are here, boom. I mean, I could even potentially consider the power protections not being needed and go for the other ones. I would consider it. I don't think I would, but maybe.
Yeah, because then adding cards like Defiance and stuff like that just adds to all of your other damage effects. Once you get the flow like water, and you're just like laughing because then you're doing a lot.
Well,
the defensive energies.
Defensive energies instead of power protections. That's what I was saying. I would consider, because imagine using it for the preemptive strike. It just cycles itself.
Oh, it's beautiful, Dad. That's what you want, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the protection idea.
That looks nice.
I like it.
Even in solo, it looks great.
Yeah.
So if anybody gets a chance to play these decks, let us know. We're not wrapped up. Obviously, Eric will go over his, and I'll do mine. Did you guys have more? Sorry. You're good.
Yeah.
Sorry. No. I was just looking.
No, I cut you guys off a little
chat.
bit. I was just trying to get us towards.
I'm just looking at chat.
Eric, quickly before I'll have you do your Wasp deck, but the chat is talking a lot about Justice for solo. So it tends to be the go-to. The thing with Justice is it's a lot of plug and play styles. So the cool part is the X-Men brought this kind of ally focused, Justice. With the Sinister Motives, there was like a shield focused Justice. Yeah. Then there's just kind of the like events Justice, right? That just plays a lot of high threat removal events that works well. But it is true with Justice of all the aspects. you can put shield in any hero. You can put, allies. You can even put X-Men allies in any hero.
They're not restricted, so it's good. Yeah.
So it does build around a little more. So Justice is one that's a little trickier to find stuff. There's a small matchup. The one way or another kind of draw cards, right? I mean, the solo build with like one way or another, clear the area. What's the other one we were just talking about? Turn the tide, like all those really low cost draw you cards. It's an amazing solo build. I think Turbo Witch was kind of the like Marvel CDB that was so popular, right?
Yeah,
but even that you could take and put into really any hero in my mind, and it would work. It works a little better with her because she cycles her deck so fast. But so there's all those styles. But it is true that Justice has the least like focus per hero. It feels like you just kind of take it and plug it in another one. But when you get to multiplayer, you get a really cool focus, like the Miss Marvel one or the Rocket, where he thwarts like with his own thwarting capability and not with events. No events, Rocket, and he's what I move 18 threat or something,
Oh, it's beautiful. And then
so you can do some really cool stuff like that in multiplayer that gives it a little more character.
And we haven't even talked about problem solvers in multiplayer.
Yeah.
Problem solvers, and then
time.
the one you were talking about, Vigilante Justice, where you can confuse a whole bunch and then use the confuses to deal damage. Yeah. So there's definitely some different ways to work with it, but there are a few that are just like, boom, they work. And for 90% of the villains, you'll have a very high success rate, even on expert. It'll especially help one thwart heroes, like that kind of thing. Yeah. So cool. But it looks like you're getting a lot of chat going there about that. So Eric, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. So I guess,
Let's go over your Wasp build.
Yes, I also did a protection build for Wasp. So first we're going to quickly talk just about her alter ego. So two things obviously to keep in mind is, she wants to find those mental resources because she can, when you flip down, you keep on shuffling two of those back in. Also, she's genius, which is very important. So because of that, I included an ingenuity in her deck as well, which will then give her an extra resource. And then Moon Girl as well. So so many of these are also mental resource focused. This right now is a 44 card deck. Couple things to focus on here. My approach is to keep on readying Wasp as much as possible. So you've got different things in here. You got 3 Ever Vigilance, which will also help remove some threat and keep readying her. So because of that, it's going to be critical to get out your biosynthetic wings as early as possible, because that will make her aerial, which is required for the Ever Vigilance. And then, a couple of your different, standard defensive cards in here. I could have thrown in, or swap out a couple other things, maybe a couple more desperate defenses in here, which will let you ready your hero, because already she defends for 3. You're going to have 4 when you throw in the armored vest. Perseverance, which is the mental resource card, since she's constantly flipping forms, from giant to tiny, that's going to make her tough, which is going to be great. And then also I threw in 3 Ready to Rumbles, which will then also keep enabling her to flip back up. And then your allies, I think all of them are mental as well, at least mental resources as well. But your Ironheart, your Nick Fury. I think I once saw, I want to say Steve play a game with Wasp. He brought Nick Fury out like 8 or 9 times or something.
That was our first. That was our first play against Kang, and.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. So every time, you want to keep flipping Wasp down. She's really great in terms of doing thwart. She's a 2/2/3 when she's in giant form. So it's all about readying her, flipping her down, getting those key mental cards back into her deck. And that is my Wasp protection.
Nice.
So I think people completely underestimate her alter ego ability. I think they think it's just nice, and it's possibly the most powerful alter ego
Yeah.
ability in the game.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hard
card draw
recursion.
is hard. It's hard to get past card draw, right? But like,
Mhm.
Well,
I guess
think
Miss
about it
Marvel's
this
better because
way.
she both recurs. Well, I guess it's the sum of Miss Marvel, right? Once she's built up, she recurs and draws.
Correct.
Think
So
about it
Eric,
this way. Her alter ego ability is a ability that Quicksilver has that he needs to put a card out to do.
correct.
Right.
You know, it's just built into her. Okay, I get to keep putting cards that I want into my deck, you know?
And you're limited to
you're just-
non-aspect cards.
So
Yeah, exactly.
hey, Eric,
Yes.
if we can go back to your deck, I just have a couple of suggestions. So I see what you're running. Let me just go back on focus on yours here. Okay. So what you're doing, I see where you're going. I think Wasp doesn't really defend. She has the ability to play protection and never actually worry about defending, because you are running those cards like Perseverance that just give you a tough status card. Why do you need to defend, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you get those, and then
but again, if it's multiplayer focused, then you've got your tough for you and defense for somebody, right?
It could, yeah, exactly.
So that focus could be different or two-handed.
Which I completely agree. Something that's why I was like wondering why because I'm seeing the sidestep, defiance, and tackles in there, and I was like, so why those 3 cards are there? Like because I think you have over 40 cards, right?
Yeah, this is 44, and definitely like tackle is one of my favorite protection cards, but it may not necessarily be good for Wasp. I would think like a never back down might be better, because something like that you can stun, or again the desperate defense to enable her to ready back up.
Exactly.
Also, because she defends so well, if you do use her to defend, unflappable would be another card. That I would definitely include, and also it's another mental resource. So yeah, certain things like sidestep, defiance, tackle, you can certainly take out. If you want to trim down the ever vigilance to maybe just 2 of them. Get behind me is always just a good card to kind of
It's a cancel.
mitigate some of
Cancels
those.
are amazing.
Yeah, those treachery cards are also good. Yeah, so you can definitely tweak this certainly a little bit, but yeah, like I said, just my focus here was to keep readying her as much as possible and flipping down whenever possible.
So I have a point, because because you want her to be able to thwart, right? You want her to be able to use her thwart ability.
Mm-hmm.
So once she has that helmet down, she gets a thwart of 3, right? So if you want to double up on your defense and thwart, having a card like True Grit is something that nobody really plays, but with her, it's actually really,
that card is terrible. I never play it.
You never play it, and you know why? Because it's
hard. What would
to
make that card better?
Rocket.
The symbiote suit.
Yes, I know it would. The symbiote would absolutely make it better.
That's
but
Brandt's answer for everything.
Keep going with
He's
your
like,
point, because you are correct. True Grit
Yeah.
on Rocket and Wasp is awesome. Especially Wasp, it's better than Rocket because he doesn't want to defend.
Correct. So she wants to defend. So if you're going that, so this allows you to not only defend and maybe get a perfect defense, but also use that big brain of yours to remove threat from any scheme. And that is the only card that we have right now in protection that removes from things other than from the main. It is the only one.
It can remove from anything?
It removes from anything.
A scheme.
Yeah, a scheme. Yeah. I didn't think about it, but no, Steve, you're definitely right. True Grit certainly would be
what is its
really good in her kit.
It's it
is energy.
Gotcha.
But you also put 3 energies from Defiance, Tackle, and the other one. So I'm like, well, if you're going to be doubling down on damage, on protecting, this is a way to do your thing while you're doing your other thing.
Very well spoken, Steve.
Cool.
Yep.
Love it.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to run through mine. Mine is definitely a work in progress. I'm not a good Nova player, but I have an idea, so I'm sticking to my idea. I'm sticking to my guns rather than what might make Nova better. So I feel like people love Nova for this Unleash Nova Force.
Correct.
And I can only remember that last game, Steve, where you fell apart at Con of Heroes, and that other guy we were playing with was killing all the drones with this card.
Oh, it was like
recurring Maria Hill 3 times, and he just had like 30 cards in his hand. So that's definitely very powerful depending on the scenario. But I am playing the Miss Marvel Nova team up game. So I'm going to focus on Miss Marvel. So I'm going to give Miss Marvel a reinforced suit to make her a little bit stronger. And I've got a first aid here for her and the go for champions. So the first aid can heal her. And then I put a team training in. So I can give her a little bit more health so I can recur and use her ability over and over again, which is why I have the command team. I don't have any get readies, which maybe would help this. So really with the command team, I'm looking to use her ability once or twice a turn, but I think that's all I need.
Yeah,
I don't think I need it to
Yeah,
happen over and over.
Yeah.
So I did just move this to 3 make the calls because basically I was thinking make the call in case I lose Miss Marvel, I could get her back. But honestly, just recurring Moon Girl or Nick Fury, which I probably could pull Nick Fury because of Moon Girl. It's probably enough between White Tiger, Maria Hill, and Moon Girl, or even pull Maria Hill unless it's a multiplayer game.
So
I don't know if I need this mobile bunker, but it seems good.
Card filtering is always good.
And then I just got wild resources galore. So I've got a resourceful clarity of purpose. Seems amazing to generate wilds. Effective leadership, these doubles to get down my cards. The innovation, again, to heal Miss Marvel and use that wild resource. And then power in all of us to help me get out, go for champions and Nick Fury and all these. I actually think with him that I pull Deft Focus because his cards say if you spend a wild, they only cost
Yeah,
you don't need it. Yeah.
But I think Deft Focus is out.
Can I just point out something?
So I don't know if I'd put a second command team in. Might be the idea. You can, Steve, but I want to see if Brian and Eric have any ideas first.
Okay.
I
know you're chomping at the bit.
Yeah, I don't necessarily have any ideas. I was just thinking that as I see you have that resourceful in deck, he's one of the only characters that I really truly would consider that card for because of the fact that, the wild does what it does in his deck, hence why the clarity of purpose is good. Yeah, I don't know. I like the look of it. It's the only
thing I'm thinking is another command team. It might be worth having
would you consider an extra first aid essentially for Miss Marvel so that you would, wouldn't technically lose her?
I think I've got a lot of focus, right? With reinforced suit and team training and the innovation in there.
She gets up to what? 5, 7, 6?
She'd go to 5, 6, and then this would heal her every deck pass. This would heal her 2 every deck pass. And go for champions gives me a free turn
command team
to double her
she's
up.
only readying an extra time.
Yeah.
Unless you had get ready in there.
So I could get ready, but I think I'd just put another command team in.
Yeah, I think an extra command team would be better than a get ready.
I think the issue with this deck in solo is that the villain's going to be dead before you set up Miss Marvel.
Most likely.
Probably.
I think before you get that turn where you trigger 2 command teams and recur his ability 3 times and play 3 pot shots for 12 damage, I think the villain's dead.
your make the calls, the 3 make the calls that you have in here. The make the calls are mostly for Maria and Nick, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Oh, Moon Girl that makes sense.
So the only thing I wanted to point out is Moon Girl actually works with Make the Call to draw you cards, but White Tiger wouldn't because you still paying you're paying the price.
She has to come from your hand, right?
Yeah, and normally Moon Girl as well. For her to trigger her ability, you have to pay.
Oh.
So, but Make the Call, you're paying with mentals, then you're good.
No, but it's after you play her from your hand. So if you play her from the discard pile, it doesn't work, right?
That's right. It
Yeah.
shouldn't.
Oh, it's true. What was I
Make
thinking?
the call does not work on Moon Girl. It does not work on White Tiger.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So it'd be good for Beast and Nick Fury and Maria Hill. So I might be able to go
Yeah.
down to 2 because I'm only worried about those
Yeah, exactly.
characters.
What's the
Um,
deck size you said?
Think I'm at 27. Sorry, what is that? 42? 5, 10,
If it's 27, it's
and
42.
7 is 17, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 26 cards. So I think
Okay,
another
so
command
41.
team definitely makes sense.
This is over 40 myself. I think it's 27.
The rapid response would be to get Nick back or Beast or Miss Marvel if I was to lose her.
What about an
Yeah, so
inspired?
it's interesting. I just haven't played enough Nova to know if this works, and you know, I don't know. I've gotten a few plays in with him recently, but I'm not a great Nova player. I'm not against him. He's one of the
You know
heroes I've
what?
played the
I think
least.
we should be taking these decks against someone in one of our next streams.
I know we need to do
Yeah.
it. So take a picture.
I saw Eric take one already. I'm gonna take a picture of mine as well.
Yeah.
My picture's in my mind.
Or we can always go back and rewatch this video.
That is
There you
also
go.
true. Sweet. I mean, I
Awesome.
like it. Looking good.
I'm just
That was
my
fun.
question for you is: do you plan on going to Alter Ego a lot?
Me,
Yeah,
because of crew quarters.
correct.
Yeah.
Isn't Mobile Bunker also Alter Ego, or is it just
It's a hero.
It's a hero. Okay,
Yeah, it's
It's a
heroes
champion.
for
It's actually a
champions.
champions only.
champions only. So it's only going to be for him.
Where the heck
this
are my
case.
command teams?
So that my question for you is: if you're planning on going to Alter Ego, did you think about maybe using that that civil that great resource that's a while that came in his kit there, the helping hand? I forget what it's called there.
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
know what
had
you're
them
talking about.
somewhere here.
Because it's a wild and it heals you for one.
Everyday hero, that one.
Everyday hero, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it
'Cause
could be a better include.
Well, if you're planning on spending an Alter Ego, maybe, but if you're not, then it's. I know I played. No, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say I always found it too situational, and I always had it when I didn't need it.
Yeah, it is a wild otherwise, like, so it can be useful. I've never really felt like I overwild him. That never felt like an issue.
No.
But I guess his helmet also has wild on it, right?
Correct.
Yes.
So it feels like you could definitely get there.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm gonna put the command team. I have no idea. I'm literally looking through my cards, and I don't know even where I found that one command team.
That's
It must
because
be in another set of cards.
The only other addition that I could think of is the suit.
Yeah, of course.
Yes,
Well,
Brian.
Yeah. Well, I think Mark sums it up in the comments. He says you cannot not be a good Nova player because he's just that good.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice,
he
cool.
is.
Well, I
he
will try
is.
it.
You'll try. Is that
Maybe I'll play these ones on Friday. I have no idea what I'm going to be able to do Friday. Our huge like church service is Friday night, and my wife and I are like producing it. So I don't know how calm or not calm it'll be Friday morning.
So if you want, Brent, I don't know what you're doing. I'm off on Thursday. So if you want to take a couple of these decks out for a spin, I'm off all day Thursday. I was going to do my French Miles Morales Spider-Man campaign, but I could probably swing in a couple of games with you if you want to run a couple of 2 or 3 player games with Brian. I don't know, Brian, are you free on?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not free on Thursday.
Okay, so Eric,
I'm not certain that I am either. I'm definitely not free Thursday night.
No, it would be in the morning.
rehearsal.
It would be
So.
at 9 in the morning or something like that.
Oh, yeah. No, Thursday I'm working. Friday morning I am available. Brent, if that would work for you. We're gonna go see Avatar like around 1:30, but before that
1:30 in the morning?
Free. No, 1:30.
He means 2:30, but he lives in the past.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
On the third day, look to the east. I will be there.
There you go.
Right.
Nice.
Hi,
Well,
Gandalf.
this was fun, and I loved having
Yeah.
the chat running with us. I don't know,
Mhm.
chat, if you built some decks while you were watching. Again, I can imagine some people are putting kids to bed, making dinner at work.
It's 10:30. Who's putting kids
other
to bed?
places they could
Right.
be? I don't. Well, they could be on the West Coast.
Oh, it's true, right?
People live in
Maybe-
other places
Yeah,
than the
that's
time
true.
zone that you live in.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Our friends in Australia.
Maybe they're waking
some
up to go to
people-
work in in Europe.
Maybe
Yeah,
some people are
France, 6
tucking in
hours.
some teenagers. Who knows?
Yeah. So maybe, yeah. What deck are you most excited to try out? Like we built four decks right now, and then 8 decks. But no, Vision was all
We built
one.
8 decks. Yeah, but we built,
built
4
4
vision.
visions.
Yeah.
Or for Vision. yeah.
Honestly, I
Exactly.
think I'm most excited that I'm hoping the community responds to Vision and goes. I hope there's a post somewhere that's like, boy, I watched that stream and I tried out Vision and I had so much fun. Like they don't have to say he's great. They don't have to say he's better than Chad. I don't care about any of that. I just want somebody who says I played Vision again because I saw that stream and he was so much fun. If I see that, I would feel like this 2 hours was a success.
Ah, there you
And
go,
if you
guys.
don't,
We
are you
got
gonna
comments.
cry?
And if I don't, I just cry. I just cry.
Right.
No, it's fine. I'm actually excited to try this Nova one, I think, because
Cool.
I haven't played Nova a lot. So I'm gonna leave this here and try to get to it at some point.
You're gonna play
Um,
as soon as we get off the stream. You know you are.
Maybe. I am
Yeah.
doing our final Christmas shopping tomorrow, so I'm up.
Yeah,
And
I'm only
out the door.
9:30 here, so I definitely could have a game.
Yeah, he's definitely playing.
tonight. Yeah.
Can I
so-
just
Definitely
say
going to bed
something?
after this.
Can I just say something? I love that Eric has all of the Marvel boxes
Boxes,
right
yes.
behind him, ready for this stream. It's fantastic.
I picture
Right.
that he's sitting
Thank
at his
you.
like dining room table and he's like prepping for people to
Absolutely.
come over for the holidays.
Yeah.
Like, who
Just
wants
let
to play?
Pretty much, please, anybody. Yes.
Nice, awesome. Oh, see, Mark's a West
Winter break.
Coaster.
There you go.
Kids
Winter
are
break
still
for all the
up 'cause
kids.
of So winter break. Are your kids on winter break yet?
No.
Steve, are your kids,
Friday.
Eric?
Friday.
My kids just started. Today was their last day of school.
Kids don't
So
get
is
a
that-
winter break in Canada because it's Canada. It's winter.
Right.
It's always winter.
It's always
They don't
winter.
get time off for Christmas
Yeah,
into
it's
New
2
Years.
2
Okay.
weeks.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You guys get 2 weeks, yeah. So we're only like a week plus. Like it's the same. We're Friday, and then we would go back on the Monday. Although I think it's January 2nd, so then they miss one day.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
think
only,
our
it's
kids
only
don't
right
go back
around a
till like
week.
January 5th,
Man.
something like that. Yeah.
My
And it's
district
crazy,
also
yeah.
has 3 Kings Day off because it's a big.
What's Three Kings Day?
I don't know all of them, but a lot of Hispanic culture. So specifically, I know Puerto Rican. It's big in, and since we have a lot of kids from there,
Los Tres Reyes.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So that's a big one.
yeah. Okay.
All right, always winter in Canada. That's right, even when it's
Yes.
90 degrees. All right, let's see anything else. East Coast.
also got the
Autoswap
largest
asking about this
skating rink in
game.
the
Well, that's
world.
great.
At the
Great
Edmonton.
stream. Thank you for joining us. All the boxes have a purple theme to them. Epiphany, January 6th. Yeah, it's the 12th day of Christmas. It's my brother's birthday, so that's how I always remember.
There you go.
Awesome. I don't really think we have any last words. I think it's just thank
No.
you.
I think, yeah, thanks for
yeah,
joining
yeah.
us.
This was fun. I know this was definitely a different approach from what the stream you guys normally get to see. And I think Brandt, is hoping if this was received favorably, we can definitely try to do a lot more of this. So let us know in the comments.
Yeah, I got to brush up on my deck building
Eric wants
skills
to
if this
become
is
a
going to keep
regular.
going.
Eric wants to become a regular. He
Nice.
wants to play the 4-player games. We should.
Yeah.
We should do a 4-player game.
I'm always up for
Absolutely.
gaming.
But I want
Definitely.
to do the deck building thing. So yeah, so we'll figure out some of these mornings and see if we can play. And then I wouldn't be available till Wednesday night would be my next availability because our goddaughter's coming over and I'm just not gonna do any stream. I'm just gonna take a Christmas break,
Yeah.
5 days
See,
or whatever it is.
The thing
And not worry
is
about
it-
sneaking a stream in.
the thing is if this becomes more of a regular thing and we build all these decks, we're gonna have to take some of these decks out for a spin.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely.
It's
You
more
know?
the timing of it that I wanted to do this before Christmas, but
Yeah.
I then didn't have a night to do a 4-player
Yeah.
expert game.
Brian,
Who says
Brian
we need to play
Strange.
expert? We could just play a standard game.
That's true.
We don't
Yeah, that's
need to
fine.
play
Especially
we
with
don't need
4,
to
right?
play expert, yeah.
Yeah,
At
because
4
I've
players,
seen Nelson he'll build the deck at the beginning of his video and then he takes it for the spin right then.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I think that would be good, but I just I want to have a spot where we're deck building and with the community, and then it felt like if we deck build for an hour and 15 minutes,
and then play.
and some people do that. Some people stream 3-4 hours. I'm not sure how that goes
Yeah.
for us. And Steve's already in his PJs, so
I'm always in my PJs.
Right.
4:30 in the morning it gets here real fast.
Yeah.
awesome. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. We appreciate it. If you play any of these decks or heroes, or you find newfound love for some of these, or you do the matchup against Zola, any of that stuff, please comment down below or go to the Facebook group and comment there. Maybe you're on the Discord, any of those places where the community can see. We're not worried about the thanks. I just want the community to participate together and maybe, like I said, find some love for Vision, or go back and play a Black Panther or a Wasp and go, wow, that was amazing. You rekindled my joy. I had that today myself with Cyclops. I had not really gotten to play Cyclops solo.
I did see that you posted
And it
something. I'm
was
like,
awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
it was awesome.
I didn't have a
Steve.
chance
It
to
was a
see it.
thematic build, 50 card X-Men. I had 14 X-Men allies in the
It
deck.
was really good.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
And I had
neat.
all the X-Men locations, and I was like, how do I make this feel epic? Oh, that's easy. The Earth is being attacked by Drang, and I shuffled all the Sentinels in.
Yeah.
And then
I
I
mean-
even shuffled Longshot in there, and he came out, which was awesome.
Yeah.
He like popped in at the it was a super thematic game. I got rid of the spear turn 1, so come at me, bro. But it was
Guys.
just fun. It was super thematic.
We have a
Okay.
challenge for the next one. Brian Strange says, "Got to fix Hulk next." So
There you
maybe
go.
we do 4
Oh.
Hulk,
Hulk
builds
doesn't need to be fixed.
just to prove people wrong.
Dude, how many times can I prove him? I have a
I
one-turn
know.
kill video with Hulk
Right.
in basics.
Turn 1 kill.
Cool.
That's how you prove him wrong.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
I should try to do that Rise of Red Skull with Hulk, though. That would be maybe fun on camera because he can do it.
Oh yeah.
He
You
he
just
can
need one
do.
Hulk smash.
Mhm.
You just need 2 Hulk smash. Turn 1. Turn 2.
I don't even know if you need Hulk smash. I think it's faster if you draw it, right?
Yeah. Just
So.
give Hulk the suit,
There you go.
and he's all set.
But it's not a bad idea. We could do that. We could pick a hero. I mean, that's what I did. I tried to pick a hero. I didn't want to pick like a hero that's just like, but I picked a hero that I was like, oh, I was surprised that people felt that way about Vision. And I know people were excited about Shadowcat. So I thought it'd be fun to build. That was kind of my idea. But
Wasp is
we can
Wasp
mix
is
it up.
one
We
of-
can also at some point build 4 decks that are like problem solvers decks and X-Men decks and something that really, really strongly goes together. Brian had the idea of like, we're doing like all the leaders. So we have a Cap deck, a Star-Lord deck. We have a
Yeah.
Cyclops
Cyclops.
deck
Yep.
and maybe something else. We
Mm.
bring all the teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Was Miles
Ironheart.
Morales the leader or is nobody?
Ma-
Miles is the
Ironheart.
leader of the champions, right?
Wasn't
I have no
Ironheart
idea.
the leader?
Is Ironheart the leader?
It was
Oh,
obviously
I'll play
Spider-Man.
Ironheart.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Ironheart.
Oh, she's
With a
my
suit?
favorite.
With a symbiote suit? And we all put symbiote suits in our decks?
We all start with them and get bonus cards too.
Yeah.
Bonus encounter
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah.
Nice.
Exactly.
All right.
Sweet.
I think we're good. Thanks everybody. Until next time, I'm the Brandt.
I'm Brian.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Sleepy Steve. Good night.
Thanks so much. Until then, we hope you step into the portal. Have a good night. Happy holidays, everybody.
Take care, guys.
Yeah.
Be well.
I gotta stop yawning.